E-money and then double ape.
Hey, I just wanted to take one more second. Listen, the one thing that is super important about these decentralized organizations is that not only do your votes count, but also your contributions count, especially at points like this where it's in a formative stage. Get in there and read. Like, put 30 minutes of your day aside. Go read up on some of the votes that are the proposals that are coming up soon. You can actually go in. Bad Teeth just came on the stage. I've literally been going through one of the proposals he's been working on for over a month. Bad Teeth and looking at all the comments, looking at all the things that people are saying about stuff. Do you need to know everything about everything? No. But there might be things in there that you do know something about that you can add insight to and help them create better documents and better building blocks for the entire organization. The biggest thing about this is that even if you're only putting in 30 minutes a week, an hour a week, you can still make an impact. I don't know if, like, as soon as I got done listening to the space last night, I was up till 5 a.m. listening to it. First thing I did was send a message out to Jerry. Yo, I didn't know that y'all needed this much help. Hit me up whenever, if there's anything I could do. This morning, as soon as I woke up, I went and made an account and started going through a bunch of stuff. I honestly, like, these organizations can do so much more when there are more people involved. When there's more intelligence at the table, more people trying to get shit done. Even if it seems like it would be more contentious, you're wrong, because when people have differing points of view and they can find a compromise in the middle, it's generally the strongest point to move forward from. Please get out there and do a little bit to contribute, and you can make a huge impact down the road.
Guys, I'm gonna explain, like I'm dumbing it down to a baby, okay? Not to everyone. This is mainly to people that are beginners, stuff like that. Down to a baby. You ever been in a coin or NFT project? This is mainly to people. You said, like, devs do something. Like, what's coming? Why no one else? What are we gonna get? The thing is, with ApeCoin DAO or other DAOs, what's coming is, instead of asking that question and flooding and hurting the project, you could share proposals, make your own ideas, put it up, have the community vote to actually make things happen. So while you're waiting for the devs, please do something. Founders, please, announcement, or whatever you're typing in that Discord or Telegram, please do something. The power is kind of now in your hands, right? Where you could come up with these great ideas, hear some other people chime in, now in your hands, support you or not support you, whatever it is, and you could be that change so something can come, so an announcement can come. And, like, I agree with everything E-money said, right? You're putting so many different minds and perspectives together. I agree with it. And together you win, right? You take over. So very, very well said, E-money. Bad Teeth, what up, dude?
What up, Books? What up, Profits? What up, Scott? Just so hyped to hear the energy around the DAO right now. Everything that E-money said is spot on. Like, so the strength of any ecosystem is diversity, and we have it across the board here. There's everyone involved in this world that we're in right now. And if you've got 5, 10, 15, 20, 12 hours to put into the DAO, it will make a difference. Like, just as a good illustration of that, I was running for special counsel. I had an AIP idea. I thought I had something to add, maybe at a bigger level. So I was like, fuck it, I'll throw my hat in the ring for special counsel. While I didn't have any expectations of winning that, I did feel like it was a good chance to share a little bit more about who I am with the community, get myself out there, and let people know what I believe in, and where I can add value. So I started writing this mission statement workshop idea 2 weeks ago. So 10 days ago, we realized the Cartan thing wasn't going to pass. A core group of about 6 of us sat down and just grinded, like, every day. Jerry, Board Ape G, Quabam, Amplify, the list goes on. But we sat down and we figured out, like, okay, this is a critical time. We need to figure out this transition for the good of everyone. and we got it done. And here we are 2 weeks later. There's 2 proposals up right now that will help shape the future of ApeCoin DAO moving forward. And so I really encourage you all to go on forum.apecoin.com. If you go on apecoin.com, you can click on the discussion button. It'll take you to the discourse, and that's where all this stuff goes down. If you go on AIP 191, AIP 196, check them out. We need those to pass to help us set up the future of ApeCoin DAO. AIP 196, check them out. We need those.
You heard the man. You heard the man. What up, Marty?
Hey, I want to let you guys know I was listening in last night, and I don't know if y'all realize but you guys probably changed the course of Ape DAO, and I don't know if y'all realized last night. But you guys probably I'm not even gonna fluff it because of listening to that guy. His no answer whatsoever. He has no ideas. I'm not even gonna fluff it. He was gonna write AIP. Listen to that all based on who he works for, how it's gonna pump his bags. That he was gonna not even BAYC his other bags because he's so corporately connected. And it was gonna be absolutely terrible. It was gonna turn us into a centralized garbage DAO, all connected. So I appreciate you bringing to light all that, and it couldn't have come at a better time. And I don't know if it was people unvoting and re-voting again, or what it was, but just super happy with the 3 we ended up with, because I've met them personally, and Jerry, of course, he's been amazing since day one, before he even knew about Ape DAO Council personally. This guy has been just super beacon. He's been amazing. He's helped people set up wallet Ape DAO Council. You know what I mean? Not even BAYC stuff. He's taking time out of his day constantly to help people get into Web3. And I just want to let you know, I love it. I love this show. I love how you keep it real, and it shows the people that come on the show, and I love this show. If they're gonna fucking blow smoke up your ass, and they're gonna get it right back. I love that about you guys. You guys are awesome. I love this show. If they're gonna
I appreciate
you're here. They're gonna get it right back. I love that about you guys.
We appreciate you, man. Thank you, man, and appreciate all your support and everything. Again, I really am looking at this as the community fucking won, yo. The community just saved the DAO. Did we help? Yeah, looking at this as
100%.
And the community's community
and
just
if you got in, in the middle, he looked like a bashing, but he was doing it for himself because he wasn't even involved. No, I didn't even know who he was until a bashing, until he went on his little tour. And we've been here since May of 2021. Where was he at? Why wasn't he writing AIPs? Why wasn't he onboarding people into crypto? Why wasn't he taking time out of his day to help people out in their projects and BAYC? That's because he has an ulterior motive, 100%, and I had no doubt about that. So I had no more ape to vote. I had already given it all to Jerry, so I was 100%, and I had sweating at the end there. But so y'all might have saved the course of this whole governance thing with DAO last night. Your show, and people aren't even gonna realize that they didn't tune in. But that means something, dude. Those of us that know about it, we can't thank you enough. I really appreciate y'all.
I appreciate you, man. Hey, do you know the 4 words or not?
I really appreciate y'all. Nah, what's up?
The 4 words, Decentraland. Do you learned something? He learned the 4 words yesterday. Fuck around and find out.
Oh, yeah, 100%, bro.
You learned something.
And it wouldn't have come out if not for these spaces. So he would have cruised to a victory. Nobody would have said nothing. And then 2 months from now, we'd be complaining about the same shit. He's able to a victory. Nobody would have said nothing. Need him out. And then so now we'd be thank you, bro. Bless you guys. Profits you too.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you. 6, what up?
What's up? What's going on, man? So I down to the topic, man. Yesterday, history being made in space. Regardless, can anybody take that away? There's a lot of people that probably now is going to really start looking into Web3 exposed and in a better light. Not to see this is not just they see the name. A lot of people might see the name. They think it's and it's not exposed. You're exposing the good things. We bring the good people to come in the space and the bad actors. What happened yesterday was somebody fucked around and found out. They opened their mouths a little too much, but like I always say, listen to somebody long enough, they gonna tell you everything. That's the reality. And we was talking and talking and talking and talking in circles like we was all bozos, and realized, oh, this is actually people that is here every day. Like we are in the community. We are talking to the community. We show up every single day, no matter what. Every single, whether it's for 5-10 hours or a few hours, but we are here every day. So it's pretty dope, man, and it's good to see everybody here. Just keep it going.
And then you had fake apes like Smith coming on afterwards to try to like feel sorry for him and shit. And that dude don't even exist.
Books caught that shit mad quick.
He don't even exist. Bro, yo, there's not even a person, dog. Don't even exist.
Guys, I'm gonna explain something. Ready? The best part about all this is I am not close with Jerry. I explained this yesterday. I'm gonna explain it to everyone that wasn't here, didn't hear the space yesterday. If you didn't, I strongly recommend you go and listen to the space yesterday. I know it's 7-8 hours long. I don't expect you to listen to all of it. You go listen from when Jerry joins to when Decentraland leaves, and then skip through the last 2.5 to 3 hours of the space. It's not going to take you hours through. It's going to be quick. I recommend you guys do so. Now, I was never close with Jerry. I always knew who Jerry was, always knew who Herb was. Two great people in the community, two people that have been very, very helpful to everybody. Who Herb was. As the election, no one was even talking about the election. My apologies. When the Ape coin announcement came out for staking, and the VPN talk, and how you could easily get wrecked due to the fine print of staking with a VPN, Jerry was helping a lot of people out with staking directly from the contract. It's a step-by-step process that he made, and people needed help. You needed to be walked through it if you really didn't know what you were doing. And Jerry helped everyone. How did we know Jerry was helping everyone? As we're on this space, every day for like a week, random people were requesting up to speak that we didn't know, random people that we do know, to give props to Jerry, and not even mentioning the votes or the voting is coming up, nothing about it. Just
Jerry helped people set up cold wallets, like nothing to do with any of stuff before. Like he would do Zoom calls and classes to do onboarding and stuff to people who are brand new to the space, trying to get their apes on cold wallets last year. Like he's been doing these things, so there's nobody more deserving. He's gonna definitely be more people like that. Been doing these things,
so that led us to start talking about Jerry. Then Jerry started coming in our spaces, and we started, learning more about Jerry. So one day, then Jerry started. The election thing comes out, the finalists, and they announce the finalists' names and all that. Profits decides to reach out to every the finalists, and Vera said, yeah, Lord HG, I think Profits decides to reach out. He gave a valid reason why he couldn't come. Herb gave a valid reason why he couldn't come. Like they were working on something, they could not come. Decentraland, very dismissive, did not want to come, did not like or comment on the space. Everyone else did. Vera showed up, Jerry showed up, and really won our hearts while they're on this stage. Everyone was, and it was a lot of people in the space, a couple hundred people. Everyone was coming up and giving them props and just praising them. I was like, holy shit, like these people have to win this whole thing. And we campaigned as a community for them. These people have to win this. I didn't see Jerry asking anyone.
I was just about to say that. We campaigned for them.
We literally did.
It was beautiful. It's like the community wanted it. We campaigned.
And then yesterday, to hear how Jerry was working so hard on a job that he's not even being paid for, and then yesterday, that man, I feel like that really touched the people when he was asking Decentraland where he's been and what he's been doing when they needed help, and he couldn't even answer that question. I feel like that is what really made this help.
Before he even knew
he couldn't even answer that
Council was opening positions,
I feel like
he was in AIP rooms and the forums constantly. I mean, you can see on the blockchain, it's all recorded. He was from the very beginning, and the first day I peeked, you could see Gary was in there without, you know, an ulterior motive of, oh, you know, if I do this, this will happen. So he's a very genuine dude. I only know him from, like, you know, Ape Fest in New York and Miami, but I connected with a major in New York and heard his story of how he got in, you know, and he's a man of the people. He's a regular guy like all of us who just believes in this space way more than anyone that I know. He's a man of the people.
Hey, well, the only thing that really made me mad, Books, was so when he finally stopped tiptoeing through the tulips, as I said yesterday to him, was the excuse he gave. So anyone who's a consultant or advisor on some Web 2.5 shit that's really done shit, he really said, I did 70 calls this month of Web 2, and I did 2 calls, and that's why I couldn't help you the last couple days. Some of us do 2 calls before, like, the other coast wakes up, when, you know, or the sun is
Bro, we
out.
were in a stasis for 7 hours yesterday.
The other coast.
Guys.
I was just so shocked, and I think he just, and then back to my, you know, my monologue about how he was talking to the stage, like, so shocked, how the minute thing, like, you guys saw how many apes were in the crowd, like, you guys were in the crowd, like, Laura, I mean, there was people that saw how literally in the crowd, I've spent thousands of hours in spaces with, and for him to downplay all of those apes, it just really made me mad. Like, it was almost like when someone talks about your friends, you're like, what? Like, Laura,
he did the Republican thing where he
I'm like,
get all the biggest money to vote for.
Yeah, she's put more work in her left pinky toe than I've ever heard of ever doing. And I'm just like, for you to just disrespect one of the apes that are up here that put in hell of work, bro, I'm sticking up for the homies. And like I said, my issue with him was the bullying and the weird shit. Like I don't know about all the new stuff, because I don't, like I said, it's one of the few people I blocked in the space. But like the way he used to, you know, bully certain people, like for clout, and then the BitBoy thing was just like the way he used to, bro, you are not sorry, bro. You're sorry you got ratioed, and it was hell of embarrassing. Like, of course you're gonna be sorry now, but you're not sorry, bro. And then when I asked him about bullying, you know, the women for clout, he didn't even answer me, bro. And anyone can go back to, you know, to the recording. He didn't even answer me. Just stayed quiet. And those.
Now he was gonna retire from shit posting.
Yeah, and that's why like we don't need that kind of stuff. People that dunk on people for no reason. Those aren't guardians of Web3. That's not somebody I want representing anything Web3, let alone you know, ApeCoin down. And now knowing that all y'all are fucking just as bullish, and who I see, you know, who got voted in, you know, I love Bear to death, including everyone else. Like, I'm so bullish on ApeCoin again. I'm like, you know, I'm about to go back in super hard, like, because I know, what's my saying? I trust people with the bag. So when there's people to trust, because I'm putting the bag out. So man, I'm just excited to ape back into ApeCoin and start this shit, you know, all over again. I'm putting the bag out. So man, I'm just excited to.
Totally agree there, bro. Go to Ahmed and then Bad Teeth.
Bad Teeth was before me.
Bad Teeth, go ahead, bro.
Thanks. I just read Vulcan, who's a data analyst, just posted a really interesting tweet about the number of wallets that voted. So with wallets that had at least 2 ApeCoin, it went Jerry, Vera, Bored G, Decentraland, Her. And it's just interesting that voting power ended up correlating with that. But if it was just one ApeCoin, Decentraland jumped up to second place in that. But again, like, to the point, the community spoke. Like,
whoa! Can you elaborate on that, dude?
Yeah.
One ApeCoin, he would have jumped up.
To the point. Yeah. So if only one ApeCoin, the difference between the one ApeCoin votes and anyone that had more than one, for him was 230 wallets. So 230 wallets with one ApeCoin voted for him as well, for Decentraland.
Do people not understand this is the blockchain? Everybody can see everything. What the fuck is
We're learning in real time right now.
If you can listen to yesterday's space, like when I was telling him, like, dude, nobody voted for you, to yesterday's space, his answers were it was like, dude, no, man, it was almost like, hey, you're right, like Horizon voted for me. Like he was like, it was almost like that. You know, he didn't say that. I'm not gonna put words in his mouth, but it was weird. Like it was shady. It was weird. Had bad fingerprints all over it, and it just I don't know. But it was weird. And this is again someone that we haven't heard from, guys. I haven't heard much from him since he posted the mega coda and was engagement farming the meta coda when Other Side launched. I don't have the best memory, but I'm someone that observes a lot, and I don't forget easily. When he got that meta coda, everyone was going nuts, and they loved the guy, and people were showing him love on the timeline, and then I haven't really heard from him much since then, besides the bullying, joining Alex's spaces and arguing with them, and a few other spaces. That's it. So for him to tell me he's someone that should be representing the community in any way, no chance. There are better people than him, and those people happen to win. That should be representing the
last thing I was going to say is that it's incredible to see the energy that's going on around the DAO right now, and I really appreciate this space in particular, you all in particular, spending your time to focus on it. It's the most important thing. Like this part is done. We are laying the groundwork for the future right now. So get involved. What E-Money said is perfect. Let's get involved and make a fucking difference, because together we'll change the world. I have no doubt. Said is perfect.
Hey, Bad Keith, I'm curious, based on what the stats you just read, what are your thoughts? Do you think it should be, and reasonable people can disagree on this, but do you think it should be one vote per individual or one vote per should be token?
This is always the challenge, right? Like you have to find the nexus between that one vote per wallet and one vote per token. DAOs struggle with this all the time. It's one of the democracies. Everyone struggles with this. So the way that we're approaching it is we're one of the priority focus groups, and the new working group we're proposing is a governance working group where we're going to find the brightest people in the space that understand the way to deal with this and come up with the best solution. And we'll continue to iterate on it. That's the only way forward, right? Like you just keep figuring out what works better. We recognize that this voting power only isn't the best solution. We recognize that a single vote per wallet isn't the best solution. So somewhere in the middle and figuring out how to track that and make it fair as possible is the key to moving forward. Best solution. So somewhere in the middle and figuring out how to track
very fair. Ahmed, what up?
Like speculation to just chime in to what Bad Keith was saying. Like, I would have been really keen to see like how he come in here and truly at least stood up to the fact that I would have been really keen. The votes could have been manipulated. He hadn't earned the community's trust. He wasn't putting in the work. Yada yada yada. The list goes on. All real factual points, by the way. Here, just to be clear. I would have been really keen to see how it would work, because for him to come in here, dance around your question, Scott's question, everybody's question for that matter, and I think he didn't get to a single question until the near end, until he was really pushed into a corner, kind of elaborate further on who he is as an individual, right? You can come in and speak fancy words. We all can fucking pick up the thesaurus or the dictionary and read some words and come up and put on this persona, but it all comes down as well to who you really were. Had you come in there yesterday and maybe at least been in agreement to what Gary was saying, to where he was, why he wasn't putting in the work, and then danced around the fact, well, I got on private calls and I did this, what Gary was saying. That is not leadership, and I think that's not what a community needs. And furthermore, as council, and again, I don't own any of these assets, but individuals who are a part of that DAO and individuals that aren't a part of that DAO, that are maybe looking to join in or just looking from the outside in, need to see that leadership in there, and he literally had next to none of that yesterday, and that's why when I asked him those questions, I personally asked him in that perfect order, because I wanted to see what the response was, and Gary literally had picked up where I had left off, and I put him in that corner, and he was like, all right, what's your investment of time look like, and what's your investment of efforts look like? And he fumbled. He fumbled loud and clear. All right, what's your investment of time look like? What's your investment?
Sorry, breaking news. Lior just posted the Hound's Twitter is still hacked. Don't touch any links coming off. Sorry, breaking news. Mutant Hounds right now.
Just don't touch anything until you hear from Lior's account.
Don't touch any links coming off. Sorry, breaking news. Mutant Hounds.
Yo, Yield, what up?
Don't touch anything.
I just had one more thing about Jerry. Like 6 months ago, whenever I was going through all that shit, I was going through my messages right now, and Jerry literally messaged me maybe once or twice a week, like just checking in on me, seeing how I was doing, and just like writing nice stuff, and be like, just all kinds of stuff. And the dude's a sweetheart, man. He's got like 3 or 4 kids. He's working that hard, just all kinds, doing all those banners for people, checking up on other apes. Like, he's got like 3 hats off to him. Seriously, man. I appreciate you, Jerry, for those banners for people. Yeah, I was just going through all that, and I forgot to mention. So I'm really glad you got it, man. I appreciate you, Jerry.
Man, I wish I knew you back then. I would have definitely commented on all the trolling and said like, yo, I don't think you want to troll this guy. He looks like Tony Ferguson's brother in real life. And I think we could have avoided that situation. You want to troll this guy? He looks like Tony Ferguson's brother in real life. Yo, Shield, I want to hear from you. Avoided that situation.
Bro, I was on Spaces with you for 6 hours, and I was on a Spaces with 6 for 5 hours to like 4 in the morning. Bro, I was on Spaces. I don't know what. 6 hours.
You fell for the trap.
I fell for it, bro. I fell for it. I was full time in Spaces yesterday, 9 hours. Craziest fucking night of my life, though. Craziest night of my life. I was full time.
I'm sure you learned $1 trillion worth of game from 6, though.
Bro, dude, I swear to God, I could. Ape Panadas, I still can't get that shit out of my mind. Bro, Ape Panadas. I'm telling you, 6, bro. If you ever make that, if you ever need some cooks, if you ever need some, get some food trucks going, let me know, bro.
All jokes aside, just knowing for 6, he's probably already started.
Get some food trucks going.
Like this morning when he woke up, he got to work. He made the calls last night, probably already, and got to work this morning. Like this morning when he woke up, he got to work.
Yeah, I can't even put together the events that happened yesterday. It doesn't. You can't even put that shit in a movie. Together the events that happened. It's crazy. This man just came in and just dug his own grave. You can't even. Nobody came in here and like was throwing shade or anything. We were asking questions, dug his own simple questions, and he dug his own grave. It was the funniest fucking moment of my life. But I'm glad we could get the right people put on. He dug his own grave. The community's going to be happy, and let's see what happens. My life. But I'm glad we could get the right
absolutely agree. Yo, Crypto Bite, and then E-Money.
Going to be happy, and let's see what happens.
Yeah, I think this will be interesting. I had a question from I'm not sure whether it was Bad Teeth or whoever said that. Who said about I had a question from I'm not sure whether that single vote per wallet was not a good idea. And I was just curious, like the follow up to that is why is that the case per wallet? I feel that the DAO, yeah, maybe Bad Teeth. And I have another why is that the case?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, that's one of the easier ones to game because it just takes 1 Ape coin per 1 wallet, and you can have people set up thousands. That is the challenge in all this stuff is staying ahead of the gaming. So there's a lot of talk about quadratic voting as a base, and then adding like trust-based voting, where the more that you're in the community and voting and participating, that gives you increased voting power. There's many ways to like avoid civil attacks and do these things, but this is where people way smarter than me got to get in on the math.
What if we made a max where it's like our max base
things, but
10,
this is where people way smarter than me got to get in on the math.
What if we made a max?
Yeah, I mean, sorry. Yeah. So just in general, I think the concept is that there are ways to do this, right? And I'm not an expert on this by any means, but we are going to literally get the experts in a room to figure it out.
Hey, Bad Teeth, is there a way to gain the quadratic or the trust factor voting? I forgot what the exact word you said. The way that, like, let's just say one wallet is participating, right? And then they go out and that wallet buys a bunch of Ape coins. Let's say one wallet is just for voting purposes, just while that snapshot gets taken, and then sells it after the vote. Is that like just for voting purposes?
Yeah. So quadratic, like, is it basically makes it it more expensive to commit more votes to something? So say you get like 10 votes, right? And there's a couple things going on. If you push all 10 to that, then you're not going to have things left for something else. So it makes you choose a little bit what you want to do. In terms of the buying and selling, one of the best ways to combat that is to not have random snapshot dates for when they track wallets. So you can't know, oh, they're gonna check my wallet a week before the vote. I'll leverage buy all the ApeCoin I can off Binance and get a wallet to vote. So that randomness helps there a lot. ApeCoin I can off Binance and get a wallet to vote.
Got it. And I guess that's my follow-up question to this is that, do we think in 2023, let me just throw probably the best example out there, that could use a a DAO like this. Do we think maybe Nike, like their latest, let's say they did create a DAO, do you feel that they have maybe more expertise around this to kind of solve that problem? And do you see that not trying to predict the future here, to solve that problem? I think there is some, as much as I was once against DAOs, and I think there as I did a deeper dive, I became actually even less for them. I've actually changed my tune in that due to some of the power that I see here with the community tieback. I think there is some real community power here for digital communities, purely tieback communities worldwide, being able to community power here, vote in an open
worldwide.
Worldwide. Yes, I mean that's the important part, is worldwide. Yes. But my question more is like, do we see and do we think like companies like Nike, as they move forward, will take on a DAO and start to use it similar to the way we see like Bitcoin? Do we predict to see like a Nike coin that has an ecosystem for buying products within that ecosystem, to see things of that nature, with similar kind of proposals that we see with the ApeCoin DAO? I still think there's a ton of promise with similar kind of ApeCoin DAO. I mean, proposals that we see, because it's more of an experiment. Like there's a lot to learn here. But I definitely wouldn't just throw shade at something, because whenever something is new, nobody likes it. Like just a perfect example of that is, look at how many people hated the internet and flooded the internet in the grounds that it would never likes it. And now look at how many people are flooding NFTs. Even though what blew my mind is when Nike came out and talked about what they were doing and called it digital collectible, they still got a whole bunch of heat that they had already failed because it was an NFT. Like, just truly incredible people's mindset and perception when it comes to technology. So my point in all this is, I think there are smart people that surround the ApeCoin DAO, but like those heads need to work together in a way that isn't trying to monopolize or manipulate the system, which is really what we saw here, right? Like what we really saw here is manipulation of the system by using the tools behind the shed that nobody knew about, right? Like, had books not started the space, what my big takeaway is that this doesn't get exposed, right? And they essentially manipulate the system, and they push their way through. And then obviously Horizon controlling, the builder of ApeCoin anyways, essentially says, oh, well, cool, now we got Decentraland here, and we have say over all things. Great, this is exactly what we need to do to be corporate friendly, right? And then the Web3 backlash came through and made this what it should be, or what I guess what we believe it should be, closer to what it should look like. Not just Horizon, with their claws in the ApeCoin, on its own, right? Because they were the creators of it. My personal opinion is they shouldn't have been able to be allowed to be involved in the first place. Like, this is total bullshit that a Web 2 company, whatever we call it, Web 3, still a Web 2 company, corporate structure, yada, yada, yada. Your job is to please the investors. Your job is to get them paid. All kinds of AIPs to reward Horizon. But where I'm going with this is that if you're involved in that kind of in that kind of play, to make it truly Web3, there should be like an isolation barrier where if If you're involved in making the damn thing, you shouldn't be in any way able to vote on it. And so what you guys did yesterday is phenomenal.
It had to be done. Like it really, really had to be done. Did Horizon want him to win this? 100%. Again, if you haven't listened to the space yesterday, like all these questions, there were some really good questions asked for a reason. When someone is not telling you the truth, there are ways to ask them questions that are indirect to the truth that you're seeking, that end up leading that person to telling you the truth by accident, not tricking them. Well, somewhat, but it's a way to get the truth. And like, we kind of got that truth out, which caught him in different lies. And like, he showed his true colors, which was awesome. And yeah, like Horizon didn't win this one. We don't need someone from Horizon on the team to sit there, pump his own bags, pump the people at Horizon's bags, share secrets with them, share information with them. It's like, hey, we have our hands in 50% of this. If we get our hands in another 25 to 50%, man, like this is our ship. We're controlling it, and we prevented that.
To Scott's point, that's the power of what we saw here was the community and the tooling existed to reset that, right? To essentially allow one corporation from coming in and manipulating the entire system and doing, one of the things that you do in Web 2 is you establish all these partnerships and you sort of build this kingdom around yourself, so you become very hard, it's very hard to then penetrate that, right? And so yeah, had they done that's what they were doing. That's a standard Web 2 strategy. My point in all this is the disruption that you guys played here is critical, but the technology also had to be there as well. So shitty as the system was, at least the technology and the voting was able to then swing the direction which we believe most of the community wanted and get Jerry in a spot. But it is going to be interesting moving forward to see the learnings from this and how other DAOs form, because to me, like, this does show that it was
all right. CryptoBite, goddamn CryptoBite. If you take the back road, there's no traffic on the highway. There's traffic bumper to bumper on the side roads, and CryptoBite took the side road. Holy moly,
bro! He dug his own tunnel.
Oh,
dude,
man.
I was driving literally like LA style, like I was going
CryptoBite
to get to Books' place.
Listen, I want to hear from FFV. I don't know if I ever even heard this guy talk. This guy's a blockchain timeline maniac. He's all over my timeline. It's like Twitter wants me to see his content, so I see his content all day. What up, FFV?
Yo, hey, my bad, dude. I don't think I can hear Books, man. Shit, I'm gonna have to leave and come back. My bad.
I got you. I'll remove you and bring you up. Yo, Trinity, what up?
Yo, what's up, Books? Can you guys hear me? Hey, can you? Oh, okay, you guys can hear me. Perfect. Hey, legendary fucking space. Thank fucking God. I'm not gonna sit there and talk shit about the man, but thank God he didn't win. Now, I will say this: we need to start holding these fucking people more accountable. And this might be an unbiased opinion, and I would love to hear people's opinions on this. I think we need to bring an outsider to these kind of roles, like a VP from an Amazon or a UPS, and incentivize them with it's like essentially like when I worked at Amazon, they gave you stocks that vest over 4 years, pretty standard across all companies. Give them ApeCoin that vests. This way they're incentivized by the price of ApeCoin to drive ApeCoin up. Because goddamn, if he would have won, just like to piggyback off what Scott said, off plenty of other people here said, they were there to pump their own bags. It was your typical, I'm not gonna make any bad comments, but you see what I'm saying. We got to hold these people to a higher standard, because I'm a consultant, bro. And fuck, dude, today alone I was on 13 hours of calls. So the fact that he was fucking saying that about those calls, and bro, it 20K a month. Goddamn, I know that's what you have in your MetaMask burner wallet, Books, but some of us, bro, are like, I've been in the industry for 8 years, bro, and I'm not flexing or anything, but I clear 12 bands a month after tax. So when you say fucking 20 bands a month, God damn, bro, like that's a lot for what to come up here and use certain verbiage and use that fratty Stanford talk. Like, no, that's not gonna work. I'm really glad that happened. So just please, I would like people's opinions. Do you guys think that bringing someone in, incentivizing them with a vesting period of ApeCoin would be better than having someone in the space already to run a council with that, with that much amount of money?
As a council member, no. But as a top dog board seat decision maker, absolutely. And I think they are working on stuff like that. I mean, we've seen some announcements come out, and it does look like they're going in that avenue with Yuga Labs, and I hope to see that with ApeCoin as well. So I definitely respect what you're saying, and I totally agree. Now, as far as the council members go, just to make it clear, like that 20 grand a month. It's more. It's like 250,000 a year or something like that. I don't know the exact amount, but it's like $20,847 or something weird like that. I don't know the exact number, but regardless of that, like, man, to see Jerry working for free, and now he's going to be getting paid that, he more than deserves it. Like, this is something that Jerry not only needed but deserves. Like, he's got a family, he's a family man, and he does this for free already. Well deserved. If you look at Vera's got, so she lives in the United States part-time and lives in Asia, China, I believe, the other half of the year or whatever. She's going to take ApeCoin global. She's an event person. She throws parties, she throws events. She's also very, very helpful to the community, and she also has her own community. And I feel like a lot of people are kind of underestimating the fact that she's taking Yuga global for free. Oh, she's going to be taking ApeCoin global for free. And one thing Yuga Labs doesn't have a full grasp on is that Asian market. And having that Asian market is a big, big fucking deal, guys. All these big brands that you see cater to the Asian market. Rolex, Audemars Piguet, Patek Philippe, Clonex and Azuki, they have the Asian market. And now to say that Yuga Labs and ApeCoin are going to be kind of getting a full grasp on the Asian market is freaking awesome. And the same thing with Bored Ape G. Machi Big Brother is not a stupid guy. He did not get his money being a stupid guy. He would not be backing this man with a lot of money if a lot of other people weren't involved in that decision for a good reason, right? I don't know him much, so I'm not going to speak on behalf of him. But man, there's so much good that's going to come from these three candidates versus that one candidate that Horizon was going to really benefit from, and so was he. And one thing a lot of people are also not seeing is that $20,800 a month to Decentraland was his side hustle. Remember this. Do you want someone in here full time making shit happen, or do you want to give someone $20,800 for their side hustle just to come bullshit us, use this Stanford frat talk, as Trinity said? Awesome, by the way. Not a fan of people that use that kind of talk, because it's very easy to trick people that don't know and trick beginners. And I'm not allowing that shit on my stage. So thank you, Trinity. Appreciate you.
Yeah, and one last thing, bro, about Jerry. Bro, I would have fucking killed to have someone like him when I started. Like, you guys don't understand. Someone that's new to this space, minting from the contract is fucking intimidating. You got to connect, right contract, and you got to go under the right mint one. So that guy's like well-deserved. I'm really happy people are like that, because we need that in this fucking space.
We spent
hey, Trinity, Trinity, before you go, bro,
yep.
I forget, bro, you're a big dog consultant too. How fucking offensive was the shit he was saying, bro? I'm like, bro, you making all advisors and you making us look terrible,
it was,
bro.
I was getting livid, man. And I don't want to be that guy to say, like, I would have considered fucking sweeping some pudgies and selling this shit. I'm not going to say some shit like that, but goddamn, bro, like, the really fucking bad representation of Bored Apes and of the job, man. Don't make us corporate guys look like all leech sucking pieces of shit. We're not, man. Like, some of us worked really hard to get where we are, and we want to transition to Web3 because, bro, I'm tired of having 3 weeks of fucking vacation a year. Straight up, I want to be independent and do my own thing. But and that's why I'm trying to transition into the space, and I love the space, man. I love y'all. Thanks for hosting. Appreciate it, Books, bro. God damn, you saved us.
Yo, Jerry, and like, we've spent about probably like 14, 15 hours a day for the last 3 weeks in our Discord, just helping people stake onto the contract. His main thing was he doesn't want to campaign. He wants to help people, and that will show them how much he cares about this community. Like, there's no reason for him to go out and say, "Yo, come vote for me." He's just gonna let his work show, and he did.
Guys, there was it was like a disaster prevented from happening. Just think, you have 3 winners, right? Let's just say Jerry didn't win. You've got 3 winners that are 2 that are upset that it's Decentraland that they have to deal with and work with every day. You have an entire community that is upset that Decentraland won. Majority of this community is upset that Jerry didn't win, right? What happens to the price? What happens to the participation? I know for a fact I would have been discouraged. People were already discouraged, guys. Going back to the first ApeCoin Twitter spaces that broke records and had mad people, and Decentraland was on the stage and Machi Big Brother was drilling them. I don't know if you guys remember. I think it was in March, maybe even before. I don't remember. Regardless, going back to that space, and after everyone started going on the ApeCoin DAO website, participation was crazy. I was treating it like my Twitter timeline. I was talking in the forum. I was having discussions with people and stuff like that. I saw everyone participating. After the first or second vote, everyone got so discouraged that no one was using it anymore. There weren't many updates. You had people like Bad Teeth always grinding. No way I'm taking that away from him. But a very, very small amount of participation. People just slowly were getting more and more discouraged. Every now and then people would pop up just to vote, and it wasn't many. Then this election came around. And to see that for people like Herb, Leor, Vera, J-Mart, Jerry, Bored Ape G, everyone started going on this freaking ApeCoin DAO website, voting, talking about it. Participation skyrocketed. For me to look and see that Jerry didn't win, and it was them 3 and them 2 don't want him, and it could have been a disaster, and I'm really, really happy we were a part of preventing that. What's up, Bad Teeth?
I was just gonna go back to Crypto's question earlier about DAO and Nike and that stuff. I think there's a couple different things there, right? Like, I was pretty disillusioned with DAOs. Like, in the beginning, they seemed awesome, but as we all saw, without participation, they don't work, right? Because there is no one doing the work. Because to do anything, you still have to do work. So, as that fell off, the heat around DAOs calmed down a little bit. But what's cool to see is that the flip side of that is true too. When you have participation and energy going in, you can change anything, and you can do it really quickly because it is decentralized. It's not a central entity saying this is how we're going to do it. It's taking the consensus of the community and building something great. So, I actually I believe that ApeCoin DAO can show the world what DAOs can be, what a decentralized autonomous organization can be, and how you can make it work, and how you figure out the voting, and how you do all these things to empower the community. So I'm incredibly excited about that part of it. With the Nike stuff, that sort of it's the complete opposite of what a corporation is, right? Like, corporations get by saying, this is how we do things, comes down from the top, and that's it. So while they might think it's a good idea, I think it's tough to integrate that type of thinking into a corporate structure like Nike. So yeah, they're probably very much considering how to make that work. But again, when you see corporate culture mismatches, that makes things really hard to achieve anything. So will be interesting to see how it plays out. But again, we have the chance to lay down what a DAO can be and what a DAO can do in this world, and we should take it.
Yo, FFV, what up, what up?
Yo, what's up, Bogus Prophet, Scott? Yo, amazing spaces last night. And dude, what you were just explaining, man, about how people were discouraged and stuff and not really participating. Dude, I was one of those people. And I know for a fact that some apes were sharing the same sentiment. Seeing, for me, my personal view when I look at DAOs is I don't really believe in them, just because for the fact that I kind of don't believe in the majority of people doing what's right for, for the long-term visions and things like that. Yesterday didn't change my mind completely, but it did give me hope, man. Like, it did give me hope that, things could go in the community's way. You know what I mean? When I saw the D-Land, I sometimes I have a problem pronouncing his name. When I saw him up there and I knew why he was up there, it discouraged me even more because, like, I'm not like some big ass whale, like I don't have that power to shoot somebody all the way up to number one. So why would I want to participate in something where I don't think my votes really matter? If I had one coin or at that, last night, man, it really, it made me really start to hope that, like, you know what, dude, these DAOs could potentially work, and this is a start. I think this is a monumental start where people can look back at and be like, yo, the community has won before and it can happen again. So, dude, I'm just fucking thankful for you guys and thankful for this outcome, man.
Nah, man, we're thankful for you. Absolutely, and well said, man. Alexander, what's going on, man?
Hey, it's my first time in here. Thanks, Books. Great to finally hear your voice, IRL, sort of. Web3 Exposed, interesting space. So what are you guys talking about? It sounds like you're talking about an Ape DAO. I'm into cutting the bullshit and exposing scams. So what are we talking about right now? Do I have that right?
It was an election. It was an election that had happened yesterday, and imagine someone is in a lead, right, the whole time, and everyone else just gives up because that person, it was no competition, and the majority of his vote came from a very small amount of people, but it was a large amount of money behind him, and it was able to be flipped. The community flipped it, and we're kind of here to celebrate right now.
That's great. Well, look, there's been a lot of bad news in crypto this year, and I tend to be more on the realistic side, so I don't talk too much. Otherwise, I get most people will want to block me. But I will say, of all the projects out there, ApeCoin in the community, I know, are one of the best and have one of the best chances of emerging in the next bull market. So more power to you.
Man, I totally agree. And people really don't understand. They don't understand it. Like, the people involved on a high level are some very, very connected individuals. Guys, everyone knows, right? Everyone that joined ApeCoin in general from the beginning and got their airdrops was investigating. Try to remember and go back to your investigating skills. When you clicked on holders and you looked at the top holders and read all those ENSs of who was holding this coin and who got airdropped this coin. Seriously, try to go back and remember, guys, there are some serious people invested, serious people that are holding, serious people that are involved. And when I say investors, I'm not talking about people that went on Uniswap and swapped Ethereum for ApeCoin. I'm not talking about people that went on Binance and bought ApeCoin. Talking about people that invested in seed rounds in Yuga and ApeCoin. And if you look at all these names and what kind of people these are, how connected they are, whether it's politically or fundamentally, like, where, I don't know the right word to use, like they're connected. They can make a phone call and make some crazy shit happen. We don't need to go reach and offer crazy amounts of money to people to get Paris Hilton to change her PFP to a Bored Ape, things like that. It's a very, very, very connected group of individuals in every way, shape, and form. They need the best devs. The best devs are a phone call away, and to be a part of something like that, oof, I mean, it's absolutely nuts. Our community, there are people in this community that 2 years ago didn't even find their niche, right? They didn't know what they wanted to do, and now they're the best of the best in whatever they do because of the connections and people they've met in this community and space, which is amazing. So I agree with you, Alexander, big time.
All right, man. Well, appreciate that. And
hey, join us too, by the way. Nobody's going to block you. That's what we do. We talk about the stuff no one talks about.
If someone wants to give me a Bored Ape, I won't refuse it. No, I'm kidding. Look, I definitely regretted finding out about that a little late, and hear people say, "Oh yeah, I bought a Bored Ape for 1 ETH." I'm like, "Yeah, thanks." But anyway, look, I think it's great you're doing here. One of the strongest communities in this very cold winter up here in the north. Jon Snow would say, my favorite meme, the crypto winter. But it's not just crypto. It's just a shift in the economic situation on the planet, thanks to central banks pumping out too much money and now closing the faucet too quickly. So that's something that affects all of us. And I'm glad that there's honest builders here building community. Obviously, the scammers hurt us all, but holding the line, keeping in there, staying together, but also being smart about it, I think is great. I see some apes in here. I see some MAYC. I see some seals. Those guys are crushing it. I see some of my NFT artist friends. So happy for all that. And, I write about crypto and augmented reality and economics, and anything I can do to help, let me know. I'm here.
Man, totally appreciate you, man. Absolutely. Hey, Money, you're back.
Yeah, sorry, I had a call about my project that I had to take. I actually wanted to throw one other thing out there. One of the things that I learned when I started with DAOs last year was that it's a lot easier than people think it is to get onboarded. You literally can just read and watch what happens for a couple of weeks and start getting the gist of how things work. The important thing is just to show up. And I just wanted to throw that out there real quick, because I know I said this before, but getting more people to the table makes a stronger entity that will last longer. Iteration is important. Trying things and getting them to launch and then adjusting down the road, it's a lot easier to do when there's more sets of input looking at it from different angles to get it to just the right spot where you can build consecutive things on top of every block that you put out. So, if y'all are interested, if anybody has any questions or just wants to get onboarded or wants to take a look at DAOs and they're not sure if they want to start with ApeCoin DAO, please reach out to me. My DMs are always open. I will happily help explain different, I will make time for anyone that has questions. So please reach out and please get involved if this is something that even remotely interests you, because you would be amazed at how even someone like me can contribute. And also the other thing I wanted to say too, which is why I came back, was the conversation that you guys had yesterday was so important, because getting information out from DAOs is always a challenge, right? Having people asking the right questions, whether they're in the DAO or not. And Scott, I got to shout you out, man. Putting the screws down yesterday, the way that you were, and the way that people were asking questions, like Six, who's never been in a DAO in his life, was asking questions about where's your support, man? Books was going through 200 plus comments, not one bit of support. And this is the thing that a lot of people get turned off on about DAOs, because they don't understand that these things can change. At the beginning, when it's one vote is one coin, yes, you're open to attacks from whales going and buying coins and stuff like that. But those are things that you can modify and change as you go. And it's important to get involved and start making those changes, because you don't know how to fix the problem if you don't watch it unfold. You're essentially just throwing popcorn at the movie screen and saying, I would have done it better. It's not effective. But if you're there, if you even check in occasionally, if you talk about these things and actually go out of your way to have discussions and ask questions the way that Books and Profits and Scott were all doing yesterday, you don't need to have a starting base of knowledge. I mean, Books, how many DAOs have you been involved in your life?
I have not been a big fan of DAOs, to be real with you, bro. ApeCoin DAO is truly the first one that I've actually participated in more than like 2-3 times. In the past, before that, maybe twice, and was so discouraged that I never wanted to touch them. Guys, just because ApeCoin DAO had issues doesn't mean it's the only one that has issues. It doesn't mean it's the biggest DAO either. There are so many DAOs out there that have had so many issues that were detrimental to the coin or project's success that they fell apart. There were DAOs that there were hostile takeovers in. So many bad situations have come from DAOs, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, right? It's so early. We're so early in the space. It's trial and error at the end of the day. If it doesn't work, the faster and better you fix it, the more successful you're going to be, right? The more you do, the more work you put in, the more successful you're going to be. And in the next 5 to 10 years, DAOs, I think their issues will be fixed and they'll be a lot better than they were before. This is like it's not the first few years of DAOs, but we're still like in that honeymoon stage. It's still trial and error.
Hey, E-Money, real quick, the screws down. I appreciate the love on that. And I don't know if you were here when I start with what I said in the beginning of the space.
Boots on the ground?
Yeah. Well, I got this from you, Books. I actually took all the Web3 credentials that I had, and I took them out of my bio. And the reason why is, oh boy, he clicked on Books' profile, he clicked on mine, he clicked on Profits. It was like, oh, I'm going to eat these 3 alive. Little do they know, if you do a little more digging, instead of look at the top layer of my bio and you actually click the links, you can go to the other layers of the bio, which I knew he wouldn't do. He wasn't prepared. So I goes back to my talking quote unquote hood, or using run-on sentences on purpose, not using commas, talking, slang words. I do that on purpose. That way, E-Money, when it's time to put the screws down, they don't know what hit him, bro. And it was just really disrespectful. I let him disrespect the advisory and consulting shit. And then he jumped to this Goldman Sachs shit. Then he was the metaverse advisor. That's why we always say, when you see metaverse advisor in people's bio, it's usually bullshit, man. Like just being real. Like a lot of the real metaverses, other than like the ones connected to the NFTs, they don't even be on Twitter, bro. They're like Lunar One and shit. And all these big ass companies, they kind of use Twitter, but they're building like metaverse shit, bro. They're not hiring dudes like him.
Just because we talk, just because we speak the way we speak, guys, doesn't mean we're dumb people. It's that I really, really love when Trinity said that Stanford frat guy talk. That Stanford frat guy talk is not going to work here. There are some very, very successful people that aren't well spoken. I know I don't talk much about my history. I've been a very successful businessman. I've made great investments in my life, but I also at a very young age held a C-level position with 800 direct reports rolling up to me, a leadership position in a Fortune 5 company. Like, I'm not a stupid person, but I'm just not well spoken. I don't have a college degree that I can flex in my bio or anything like that. And when someone just comes up and insults me and the co-host, not realizing their history or the other speakers on the stage's history, I mean, that's just not cool. Please, guys, don't, just because someone is well spoken, give them the chance and benefit of the doubt over someone that's not. Like, that's something we've got to change in this space, especially as it grows and more personalities and different people join. When the masses join, what you think is cringe today is going to drive you crazy in the future. So please start adapting and understanding that there's more out there than what's to your liking.
That is literally the base level of gatekeeping. Like, on an individual level, right? You are judging someone based on the way that they sound before you know anything about them. It is straight up gatekeeping. Like, there are plenty of people that that graduated high school and went into crafts and are fucking brilliant, and they don't have the higher level education diction that you'll hear from corporate America. They don't know exactly how to put together a business plan, but when it comes to their craft or when it comes to the things they're interested in, They know a fuck ton more than you think. Pardon my French.
Or E-Money,
Appreciate you, man.
There's the way Books explained it, and then you got me. I'm straight from East Oakland and went to college, but you would never know because I don't put the shit in my bio. I could talk like Scott Edward Burke Jr. if I want to. Yeah, like, I mean, of course I could do that, but that's not really me, you know what I mean? So, like, he, like, fucked around and find out. You get the way Books was, brought up.
Yo, Andrew Tate.
You got how Profits is
Andrew Tate was just arrested for human trafficking. Just to tell everyone.
I heard that, bro. I heard that.
It's gonna happen, dude. It's gonna happen.
Yo, Benjamin, what up?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I just wanted to talk a little bit about this topic that you guys were on, because this is something that I love so much, and one of the reasons I really support like the sorry about that. The pseudo anonymity in Web3, and the reason that I believe in social identity so much is that you don't have. Sorry, I might have to jump off, but you don't have to, or you get the chance to not judge somebody by what they look like, right? And I think that's really important because. Sorry, guys. I love you. What's going on? I gotta hop off here. I can't. I'll just keep listening.
You're good,
we got kids too, bro. It's all good, brother. All love. Send the baby love, bro.
Hold on. Let me get this bottle in. Okay. Wow. It's like a fucking mute button.
Magic.
It's magic. Yeah, no, but one of the reasons why I think social identity is so strong here, and why I love using these cartoon animals, is because like you can be anyone you want to be. You can, be judged off of your actions and what you do, and not what you look like. And of course, I love meeting up in person and meeting everybody and really forming actual relationships here. And I've met a bunch of people in this industry, and I'm really fortunate to be a part of it. But the fact that like it's not about how old you are or what you look like. It's about how much time you're willing to put in, how involved you get in the community, and the fact that we're able to do this and make these kind of connections and not feel the need to judge anyone no matter what. Like there's bias in the world, but we don't see that here. And I think that's one of the most awesome parts of this community in general, and why people get so tied to their social identities. And so this is a conversation I love to have, and one of the reasons why I think that the animals work even better than like humanoid profile pictures. And so that I'm all for it. Give me an ape, give me a seal, give me whatever. That's why I think that this is such an important topic, and love you guys, and the fact that we can all create these relationships, and everybody gets judged on who you are as a person and what actions you take.
Dude, that's a huge point, well dude. Said. I think that having that PFP identity actually allows us, like, inherently humans have bias, right? There's no way to get around it. Everyone has some sort of bias against other things. It's just a fact of the way that our brains work. But I do think that the PFP society, like the way that we're seeing it play out, is allowing us mentally to move more towards meritocratic thinking, like something that where seeing what people have done, who they're working for, what they're working on, and what they've been able to do means a fuckload more than their pedigree. It means like the hours you put in actually count here. And I think that like that can't be how important that is to the development of Web3 and decentralization cannot be overstated. Sorry, Trinity, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Trinity, what up?
Oh, you didn't cut me off, bro. You're good. I just wanted this is one of my favorite subjects, because please don't misconstrue what college is. And I'll tell you guys, I went to University of Cincinnati. I graduated with chemical engineering. I drive around with a white tee and I smoke blunts all the time. Like, you would not fucking think. Like, so please don't judge people that way. On top of that, college is mostly a business. I'll tell you, I went to University of Cincinnati. It's a research school, meaning they make money off the professors' research. Fucking professors
not saying anything about the culture, but half my professors were from Asia, and a lot of them had language barriers. I could barely them. Most of my core engineering classes, chemical engineering classes, my junior and senior year, bro, we were getting fucking 20s out of 100s, but they were curving because you can't have fucking everyone failing or your department doesn't get money. So it's all a fucking game. Most of these people partied in college and got their degrees through curves, and they're not applying anything technical from the degree besides maybe programming. But most of my shit I learned on the job. Like, if I was 18 and you took me out of high school and put me in my role right now, the only thing I would lack is emotional intelligence. That's really the only thing I've learned throughout my corporate career is emotional intelligence and some technical Excel skills. But a lot of that you can learn on YouTube. The only thing I think is not the only thing, but what I think is truly valuable out of the corporate experience is emotional intelligence and how to deal with people. Understanding your audience. Understanding that if you're running for a high fucking position, you don't post a picture with somebody and talk shit about them on Twitter. That's pretty big. You know, you got to understand your audience, knowing the room, and emotional intelligence. So, Scott, I love what you said, man. I'm the same way. People would look at me and think, you know, this guy's a bum or something. But in reality, man, I consult Nike. We have Adidas. We have Pet Value, Shark Ninja, bro. All of them are under our portfolio. So, don't judge a book by its cover.
Very well said. I agree. I definitely agree. Intern, what's going on?
Hey, Books. Thanks for calling me up here. This is actually a topic I rather enjoy talking about as well. So thank you for choosing me to come up here. So I've got a question for you, Ben. You know, like I definitely do relate with the PFP identity, right? Like I'm an intern and I'm wearing a ute. And I'm just kind of like the intern of Web3, you know. So yeah, like I'm actually in a situation now. Well, actually, I don't even, now that I'm saying this, I'm actually revealing or realizing that, yes, so my identity is actually going to be pretty well closely, I don't know, I guess ingrained with this visor now that if I do some trade collabs, you know, as far as the visor goes in the PFP for the Ute. Okay, cool. So what do you think, Ben, as far as, you know, like the PFP goes, do you think that plays a real big role in people recognizing you? Or do you think like your followers would kind of still recognize you for your name, even if you changed your basey?
Yeah, I think this is a topic that, you know, you can give an answer depending on the person you're talking about. Like, you know, I've been around for a while, so people know my name, they'll know my ape. I rarely change it, but I do change it. And so, you know, I definitely agree that the less you change things, the more recognizable you'll become as long as you're active, you know, just by default. But I think that you should also at the same time not be entirely, you know, held to that in any kind of permanent situation. And just advice for you in general, I think you have a real path to be able to use the intern as a personal brand and really, and my boy Braden agrees, but use it as a personal brand in the way that, you know, you are the Web3 intern and you really lean into that, whether it's your actions or just the way that you speak and kind of make it about what your identity is. But interns are always, or not always, but interns do have the possibility to be promoted, right? So you can always at any time promote yourself past intern. And if you want to move away from whatever your Ute is or whatever your Bored Ape is, you can. Like, you know, if someone was willing to offer me a crazy amount of money, like I'd sell. Like I'm not looking to, but at the end of the day, there really is a cost benefit analysis of the difference between how much money I can make from long term from using this same brand and what kind of deals I can get from being recognizable, as opposed to that money shot of here's some upfront pay and now I have, you know, money to do with what I want. I still have other options to choose from for a PFP. And even though I've made it my identity, you know, I've had plenty of different, you know, interests over my life, and I haven't always been the NFT guy. You know, I was into DFS, I was into 3D printing, so I've done all these different things. But each time through it, you want to give as much value as you can in terms of what you provide to the community and the relationships and networking that you do. And at the end of the day, people will respect you and may not be able to understand just based off of your profile picture, but the more time you spend in the community and the bigger brand you build up as a person and an identity, you can make that change. You can sell your thing. You can change your profile picture to another community. I support other communities all the time by changing my profile picture. But at the end of the day, I have to stay true to what my, global, macro brand is, while at the same time being able to jump in and out of communities and show support to smaller artists or smaller projects or people who are trying to make a come up. And so I think that it's really important to stay true to your brand and to really live within what you're trying to provide to the community, but don't feel that you're stuck in that. Do it in a way that you enjoy it and you love the process, but at a certain point, if you want to change, you have the ability to do so.
Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, no, because that's the real thing, is there are people, that do just get kind of attached to their PFP. For myself, right, like the only thing that made me kind of see a larger picture, right, is because I'm considering doing trait collaborations, and like that's going to kind of tie my name with the trait on kind of like a different level, where it's actually kind of attachable to a mutable NFT. So that's the only reason why I had a concern, because like as much as I love the Ute, and I'm pretty sure I'll never sell it, but I'm just considering, like what happens in like a year or two from now, or even like 8 or 9 months, even, if, like, let's just say there's a bigger, better, project or something, and then I just don't want to leave that trait collaboration out there. I don't know yet. I'm gonna have to talk with the actual counselor, the team over there, and see what they think. But yeah, no, definitely loved your insight there, Ben. And Books, again, I can't like say thank you enough for letting me come up here and talk with Ben. So thank you.
Yeah, Books, do you mind if I just respond to him on that point?
Are you crazy?
I want to make sure I don't take over the show here. I love you guys hosting. I think it's really important in turn not just to build what your brand is around your profile picture, but if you choose to go that route, you can brand that trait across other mediums as well, right? Like one of the things you can do is get someone to develop an AR filter for you that has those glasses, and it doesn't have to be the Utes. You can just have the filter of that trait itself, and you can make content surrounding that. And so you can work your way into the specific trait. You could work your way into the specific Utes community, or you can broaden what intern means, and you can be the intern of multiple different projects, even if it's in the way that, like, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Tropo Farmer, but he's known as the club drunk in Bored Apes in BAYC and in the Discord. It was just like a role that he was given early on. So like if he wanted to be like the club drunk somewhere else, like you already have that kind of branding and reputation following based on what you've done before. So I think, we're all on our own personal journeys and missions here, and we all have different goals, but it really depends on like what your goals are. If your goal is to be the most recognizable, Ute with this trait, then really, build into that, make memes and always have that trait, use the AR filters and always use that trait. But if it's about, being big in the Utes community or, Solana or Polygon now, then you might want to just cycle through different different Utes as your profile pictures. So you can have licensing deals and IP deals and not be beholden to what your profile picture of the day is. You just don't want to change around so much that no one ever knows, who's posting when they look at your account. So I would say like pick a lane. And there's some guidelines generally for building followers and Twitter accounts. And the earlier you are and the lower followers you are, the more specific you want to be about, what you post about. So you want to post, mostly about Utes or Solana or the transition to Polygon, and stick within that niche and become like the guy or the intern within that niche. And as you start to grow and you get over 10,000 followers, now you can broaden out to more generalized approaches and learn, use what you've learned within that niche to apply to broader communities. And then as you start to get over 25, 50K, then you want to have a little bit more of a generalized macro approach that's more fitting to a wider audience. So it's really about like what your mission is and your goals and how you want to go about it. But there are definitely general social media guidelines and branding guidelines that you want to follow. And one of the last thing I'd say about that is stick with a color palette. And so if you like that specific color palette that you have with like the cream and the glasses, then you might want to put your banner as that. And I see that you have that, so you're doing a good job there. And you might want to have your memes focused around that, and you want to stick with a similar theme and branding. And if yours is unique enough, like kind of like the way mine is with the army background and the red, white, and blue, it really pops and sticks out, whether I'm Spaces or I'm posting on Twitter. So you want to lean into that as much as possible in a way that gets people to notice you. But then you could also do that with another collection, or you can reinvent yourself at a time where you think you want to move into a different category or something like that. So again, stick with what you have and do it in a way that the actions that you take give yourself a good reputation, and then you're able to move in different circles with respect because of the actions that you've taken in the past and the branding that you've put out there that has become more recognizable. Over and out.
Yeah, thank you, Ben. Books, sorry, fam, sorry, Prophets, sorry, Scott. Hash, I fucking love you. You're the man. Everybody drop Hash a follow if you haven't. He's pretty cracked at co-host. Yeah, I'm just throwing you some flowers, Hash. Ben, no, I definitely listened to everything you said there. And that's absolutely right. Like, I'm pretty much trying to keep my doors open, and I'm wanting to be able to at least see the opportunity from going, to Polygon. I do see that possibly, being a way that I can get into some back doors, right? Like as far as, collab community managers or hell, there might even be supervisors or, DMs.
Be the intern of Polygon, bro. Like reach out to the CEO of Polygon and be like, hey, listen, I know that Utah's moving over and you're a supporter of the move and probably helped initiate it to begin with. I want to be your intern, even if it's like just facetious and more metaphorical than anything. You can be the Polygon intern or the Utes intern, whatever it is, and just really lean into that. And you could be an intern forever. There are paid internships that do pretty fucking well. So like, if you want to lean into that and be not just an intern, but the intern, that's not a bad path to go down. And there will be, the Polygon influencers, and there will be people fighting over those metrics and stuff like that. So if you want to brand yourself as that and you're okay, associating yourself with a specific chain, that's something you can do. But again, we all have our own goals. And if that's, if you want to be like the number one influencer of a chain or something like that, that's probably your best shot, right?
Yo, intern, let me ask you a question. Have you dabbled in ETH at all, like ETH NFTs or ETH altcoins, like DeFi, anything like that?
So I've dabbled a little bit in the Ethereum NFTs, but I'll be honest with you, Books, it's only been for about 30 days now or so. And like I've spent, probably about 350 plus hours though on Spaces, talking to different, Ethereum communities. I did all that within Super Spaces Challenge. And my boy Fredo, I was pretty much a co-host with him throughout all of it. So in a sense, no. But at the same time, yes, a little bit.
All right, here's like, bro, and I know like I've been a big criticizer of Frank, the D-Gods, the Utes, and I'm a holder. I've been a criticizer of Solana in the past, like heavily. You know that. You know, we might have not seen eye to eye always, but bro, like the best piece of advice that I could give you and other people that have not really given ETH a chance, and what I mean by ETH a chance, and other blockchains as well, you know, like Polygon's that's gonna be awesome too. I don't just mean by like investing in it, right, and buying NFTs and stuff like that, but give other founders a chance. Like a lot of the people over at the D Gods and Utes, they only want to listen to Frank and what Frank has to talk about. However, Frank is a new founder. He doesn't know it all. Just because the price is high does not mean he knows everything. Give your other founders a chance. Divide your time evenly. And trust me, man, you're going to be better at this space. You're going to make more money. You're going to be able to network outside of that community that you're used to and possibly have, that internship that you want, that career that you want in the future. Do not marry a blockchain. Do not marry a project. Do not marry a founder. Please explore everything. That's how you're going to grow yourself.
Folks, do you mind if I chime in quick? I kicked myself off the stage and I had my hand up.
Absolutely.
And one thing I'll say just from branding and marketing background, brother, to you, intern, truly be careful how you position yourself in the space. You don't know what's promised for tomorrow or next month or in 6 months or in a year or 5 years from now. And we're such in an infancy stage right now to where we are in everything in Web3 still is in the infancy stage, in my perspective. Really, truly do your research about who you want to support loudly, what project you're supporting, how you're positioning yourself as a brand yourself, because who knows, tomorrow you might wake up and you want to be a builder. Tomorrow you wake up and you want to go do something. Tomorrow you wake up and you want to voice an opinion. And the one thing you'll learn so fast is that it's easy to fall in the net of, this glamour. And we saw that yesterday here on stage, kind of how it turned onto somebody relatively really quick, right? Because this is not a space, not this particular space, but like the Web3 space as a whole, where you can bullshit, everything will catch up to you. Everything will be put up front. Truly be careful how you want to position yourself as not just like as a consumer in the space, but as a personal brand. And the doors will open to you, right? Like don't chase too much. Don't look into things that don't necessarily belong to you. And really from the bottom of my heart, be careful who you're in, how you want to position yourself and who you want to interact with and who you want to support loudly, because I promise you, not everything is what it seems. And it sucks because that's the unfortunate truth of how the space right now is. But I would hate to see anybody in UN or for that matter get caught in a cobweb of life. So that's my opinion. That's my opinion. That's my advice to you, my friend.
Yeah, I would have tripled down on
Crypto by in 30 seconds. Please triple down.
Damn it, 30.
Fuck that. 30 minutes. 30 minutes started. And start now.
Books, man.
Definitely seconds.
Give me a break. No, I think that honestly, we can't really tie ourselves to any one blockchain. In fact, the blockchains, if you think about it in the future, you're not even going to know really what blockchain a brand is on because they don't really care. They're going to build all the infrastructure on top of it. Like perfect example, go look at what Nike's doing. They're not the only people who know it's on Polygon are the people who are these experts, right? You don't know, like when you use a web browser, you don't actually know that it's using like the HTTP protocol. You don't really care. You're just using the web browser and you're interacting with it. So that's what blockchains are going to look like underneath the hood. In order for mass adoption, it's not going to matter. So if you're going to want to get a job and position yourself, go learn about Web3, go learn about what the other brands and companies are actually doing that are building the infrastructure and the user interfaces and the simplicity to make this not about which blockchain you're on. None of that, mark my words, will matter in the end. There are not going to be blockchain influencers. There isn't going to be like a whole group of crypto Twitter around that's promoting Solana or anything else. None of it will matter. You heard it here first. So what is my point in this? Go look at the skill sets that are in Web3, and then don't forget about Web 2. Web 3 is just an additive to Web 2. In fact, most Web 2 brands, if they don't add the Web 3 component, their cost of acquisition for getting users to buy their brand or repurchase will be unobtainable in the next 3 to 5 years. Go look at the cost of acquisition for Web 2 brands trying to acquire customers. We're moving from what's called a communication consumer
to an experienced consumer. And that's what Web3 is all about. Scott said it in the beginning. Web3 is all about communities, but it's just an addition to Web2. Every Web2 company and brand right now, whether you believe it or not, is positioning themselves to use blockchain technology, to use NFTs, to use communities to do all this, because they need to build communities in order to create a user cost of acquisition that's manageable for them from the financial side in the future. There is no such thing as a Web3 job. There is no such thing as a blockchain influencer. There is such thing as understanding how to fit the technology into the problem that you're trying to solve. Anyways, that's all I got. I would highly go research what companies are hiring for this. That's the important thing. Crypto Byte, done books. Took a little bit more than 30
Crypto
seconds.
Byte out.
Books, you like that shit. So don't.
Yo, bro, you know what I like? I do love, actually. Yeah, you do have more good points than bad points. You know, although it takes you 4 hours to deliver the message, bro, me and you have been here preaching stuff, like straight alpha that you don't hear anywhere else to help people. And it's crazy that it just goes in one ear and out the other, and until shit hits the fan, people don't want to listen. And that's what's
Books,
sad.
I'm gonna give us credit right now today for helping Frank D Gods become the Frank D Gods that he is today. I'm gonna take a step back right now, take off my consultant hat, put on my mentor advisor hat, and boy, am I proud of that, man. I'm almost getting the point, Books, where I'm going to buy a D-God Utes. I just have to wait for things to crash a little further here, and I'll definitely be getting in there. But I'm super bullish. Books, one of the things that we told him in the past.
I ain't going to lie to you. I think that Solana would have hit $7 if it wasn't for the pin tweet that I pinned to the top, my friend. I don't know if you saw that yet.
No, potentially, but Books, do you remember when we were talking about Utes? We talked about it in this space. God, I wish I could find the recording. We were talking about the focus of him getting actually focused on a business and stop worrying about all this other side crap. And you know what he did? This son of a bitch finally figured out how to potentially create a Y Combinator for Web3. Now, I'm not going to say this isn't the first time this is being done. Like Farfetch, that fashion brand, they already figured out how to create kind of this Y Combinator situation using a Web3 type community to do it. But I will at least give it to Utes and D-Gods for kind of, taking off the gloves there, recognizing some real business value and creating. That's really what they're doing now, Books. They've got a more or less a Y Combinator model. And what's great about this is I believe we coached him there. We gave him a lot of advice to get him kind of on track, get him focused. Young guy, I'm rooting for him. I am definitely rooting for Frank. As we move forward here. So anyways, I just remember some of the coaching where we got him up here and he gave us his sales and marketing pitch, and then we got him back directed on the business direction, and then we're starting to see some results. So hopefully,
Crypto Byte. Track. Hey, and to add what you said, and to challenge the audience, I know a lot of our audience has heard us say this before, but if you're doxxed in Web3, go on fucking LinkedIn right now and hit search people and write Web3 or, whatever keywords that fuck with you, like DAO, whatever. Add everyone. Now, some of them will be bullshitters, and you can just unfollow those guys.
90% of them are bullshitters, Scott, just for the record. Just so you know, I live on LinkedIn.
You'll meet some very fucking cool people that are actually up to shit. And, I just challenge everyone. Crypto Byte said, if DAOs are your fucking thing, do my hour of fucking research fucking thing I always tell everyone to do every day. And then also go link up with other people. Crypto Twitter is just one vertical, man. Like, not everybody's here. And the sooner you can figure that out, the sooner if you're trying to monetize, your skill set, it's not always going to be on Twitter, guys. Like it's just, think of Twitter as a tool, right? It's your voice, right? It's the voice of your persona.
if you're doxed or not doxed. It's the voice of you. But these other verticals are where Web 2 companies just go. They don't know to go jump in Twitter Spaces and find the fire ass people, that come to Spaces every day. So don't feel like it's like they don't see you. It's just they don't know any better to come to Spaces. So that's what I meant by going on LinkedIn. Of course, like I said, both of us said there's a bunch of bullshitters, but it's cool to follow, some of the guys from Polygon, whoever, whatever chain, whatever people interest you, start following some of them. And then the second part is go to the job search, and you will fucking be blown away about how many remote Web3 jobs that are paying. You think 100,000? That's minimum wage in Web3. Like no cap. Like some of these places, like Jasper AI fans, they're hiring a whole marketing team right now on LinkedIn. Like that's the kind of jobs and opportunities for Web3 that you wouldn't see on crypto Twitter. So you want to go get $300,000 for what you're good at in Web2 that's working in Web3, go on fucking LinkedIn and start clicking those jobs. And if you got premium, do that auto fucking apply shit or whatever that.
No, I think Scott, I think that's a great point, but I want to take that step further. I think there's way more. I don't know who said there's more bogus on LinkedIn. That's definitely not the case. All the top Web2 brands are Scott is right. They're hiring from LinkedIn, not hiring from crypto Twitter. There's a lot of reasons for that. But that's why they're doing it. I will say this. There's a lot of, and Books doesn't usually let him up here to speak, but there's a lot of bogus, non-credible kind of speakers in this space, educators. I mean, I'm going to just say this. I'm all about fake it till you make it, but I'm not about like bullshit your way through a whole bunch of stuff to convince people that you know something that you know nothing about, or you sat here and listened in a space and just regurgitated what a bunch of other people said.
Last night with Oh Boy, I cannot, dude, we say this all the time. I cannot stand the people that come and go, I've done this, this, and this, but I can't tell you any of it. I can't tell you bro, if you did all this epic shit, there's at least one of those companies that you could talk about, bro, or one big client or one big metaverse. I don't know what really his background was, because I was mad confused, but
everybody's done it all until it's time to do it all.
Yeah, that's why I laugh. You can't bullshit these fake advisors and consultants. Go try that in a Jasper AI interview when they're interviewing you about fucking making pillars and brand Bibles. See how your favorite Twitter space marketing host does in an environment like that. So that, like, we got to stop just letting these people say they did this and this and this, but they literally can't tell you one client, one influencer, one brand, one project, even like Book says, you can't even tell you what project they got the coffee from the guys for. You know what I mean? Like, you can't even.
And by the way, don't be afraid to fact check people. Someone says something, go look it up. And if they're
while
wrong,
they're talking and comment
hold them accountable.
No, like if you're in the audience while people are talking, if they are wrong, comment it, tag me. If I don't catch it, like, we're all human. We ain't gonna be able to catch everything. And for the audience members that aren't up here speaking, please comment it on the bottom right, and we'll call people out right away. Yo, Ben, what up?
Yo, I definitely want to just agree with what Scott was saying there, and specifically about the talk that you guys had last night. And I think that what you've done before Web3, in certain circumstances definitely does matter, but there's a lot of times that it just really doesn't, based on like your actions now. And when we look at the two people who are being compared last night, Jerry is someone that, I don't even really know what he's done before Web3, but I know he's been out here. He's been out here in the digital streets, helping people with banners. Like, but before all this happened, like, he's just been doing banners for Bored Ape holders since day one, right? Like, he's just been the guy helping out the community. And to see somebody that's out there and active, like, he may have never had any kind of design background beforehand. He could have, owned a restaurant. It doesn't matter to me, because I see what he's doing and the actions that he's performing. And so that is so much more relevant to me than, something you did years ago. Like maybe in the DAO conversation, specific tasks and responsibilities would be more relevant, but that's not what the conversation was really about yesterday. And to see someone like Jerry really getting props for not just what he's done in the past, but what we see him doing even to this day, that's something that's really commendable, and why this show specifically helped be instrumental in him getting on board. So I think that's awesome, and I definitely agree with you guys. I got to head out here soon, but yeah, this conversation's great, and Scott, I echo and co-sign your thoughts for sure.
Thank you, Ben. You're a legend.
Every time CryptoBite or eMoney get done, and someone says, "Oh, to add to what CryptoBite or to add to what eMoney was saying," like I'm like, damn, what the fuck? He just rambled for 4 hours and he said he's done. Why do you guys got to add to it? I would burn my ape to prevent myself from being locked in a room with CryptoBite and eMoney at the same time for 24 hours. Like, I would give up my ape to make it not happen. But great points, fellas. I want to hear from Hash. What's up, Hash? Oh, really? No, I don't smoke hash much. You? Wow. Impressive.
I'm sorry, Books.
There he goes.
I'm doing pink eye with my daughter. I'm so sorry. I'll be back.
What's pink eye? Is that like a toy?
Books, you don't like that hashish?
Definitely not.
I already know.
Illa keeps rugging, I think.
Books, yeah, what's the background, bro?
Touch your nose, bro.
Touch my nose?
Keisha's coming up.
Keisha! Keisha!
Hello! Why are you whistling at me?
What's up, Keisha? What's going on?
What's going on, guys? How are you guys doing? Awesome spaces today and yesterday. That was amazing. If only we could have a similar thing for our, lovely U.S. government. But that's a different story for a different day. But no, I thought that was honestly for somebody that sometimes feels that they come from a community that isn't very heard or properly understood, to see something like that come at the forefront of things, I think it was pretty cool of you guys. So spot on. Just wanted to say that. But how you guys doing? It's almost 2023. What are we doing? What's going on? How are we feeling?
Oh, you already know. We are watching the ball drop on Twitter Spaces. You guys stay tuned.
Oh, no. What balls?
Me and Book are having a party.
The New York.
Hey, last year we did that. Hey, Profits. Remember last year we was on New Year's on Twitter Spaces? I ain't capping. I'll be on this motherfucker again.
I don't remember. Maybe I clicked on my phone. We'll see what happens.
I'm most likely not going to be here.
Books is definitely going to be in a helicopter.
Well, that's casual.
Most likely, we will not be on Twitter Spaces. I'm going to set the right
fucking around. We're not getting on Twitter Spaces. My amazing host needs a fucking break. So,
yeah,
no,
you guys.
Yes, Profits will be hosting. Everybody. I will be talking.
No, I ain't hosting either.
She's going to accidentally drop
host and be silent. And
we're out of order till 2023. Thanks, management.
No, I'm already bored enough with this non-working shit.
That's going to last 2 hours.
I'm pretty sure 6 and 7 that night are going on, so y'all will be good. Honest,
oh yeah, for sure.
What's the vibes, bro? How you doing today, sir?
Profit. I had to. I was listening on the sidelines, but then you said something, and I'm always gonna get on your ass when you be saying something. You know what I'm about to say?
Oh no, what did I say?
That's what we waiting for. We waiting for Profits. Profits gonna be hosting She gonna be hosting a live, watching balls drop. Is that what she doing? Is that what we doing now? I heard you. I had to tap in. I was like, whoa. Is that Profits going sideways again? What's going on, Profits?
Honest is funny, man. Honest is I'm gonna say Honest is in the waiting room for sure, for sure. How you doing, my guy? You feeling good
Man,
today?
I'm blessed, man.
Or
My
what?
little boy finally stopped coughing and shit, so I'm feeling good, man. That little nigga had a cough for about 2 weeks, I swear.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad he's better. Is it cold as fuck or what? I saw it snowing
Yeah,
over
it
there.
snowed 4 feet yesterday. It ain't too cold though, but it snowed 4 feet yesterday.
Bro, how is it snow? What up, Honest? How's it snowing, bro?
Man, you do you want? I'm gonna
You know where he
I'm gonna
is?
keep my tin hat off, man. You know what I'm talking about? I'm gonna keep my tin hat off, and we're not gonna talk about how every single city in America dropped over 40 degrees in a span of 24 hours. We're not gonna talk about that. I'm not.
Bro, it was like that movie when she turns the little thing and then she makes it snow. That's what it reminded me of when Florida fucking hit 30 degrees from the day before it was 80 degrees. I was like, how, bro?
What
How?
movie was this, Prophets? Can you
It was a
elaborate?
Disney movie. Y'all don't remember the
Frozen?
Look it up. I'll look the Disney movie up. It was the whole Santa shit, and she made it turn snow on Christmas.
With the little machine thing.
Yeah, I ain't tripping. Yeah, I remember that shit. But
Yes,
honest, it's
that
on
was
point.
the worst.
Global warming is crazy.
This is absolutely nuts. I'll never forget. It was 52 or 55 degrees, and then overnight I woke up and it's 8 degrees outside. Like, that does not make sense to me. That is the weirdest shit I've ever seen.
Never in my life, and I've been across every part. Never ever heard anything like that. Never.
It's called winter, guys. What are you talking about?
In 24 hours.
Not that much.
I'm from.
It's called a cold
excuse
front.
me. I'm from.
You see, there's hot air and there's cold air.
I'm from Anchorage, Alaska, man.
And then there's precipitation. Yeah, okay, but it's a massive mixing of fronts. You can watch the Weather Channel. It's really simple. It's the Great Lakes coming down with it. Anyway, it happens like every 15 years. It's pretty brutal, but it's definitely happened
Alex,
before.
how you feel about global warming then?
It's getting really damn cold, man. It's so warm. I was freezing my butt off here in Tampa. It's just happening in reverse. What can I say? It's called climate change in the winter, by the way. It's global warming in the summer.
We'll call it El Nino.
This is why I left the East Coast.
Hold on. Alexander, is the world flat?
Of course not.
All right. Keisha, what you said?
Just
that was a
plain
good
logic.
Test, Prophet. That was a good
test of what?
Just
I mean, the
gotta
temperature
make sure
drops in the
who
winter.
we're talking to. No, we understand.
Yeah, I'm
but
crazy because
this
I
is
think
also
that's
why I
normal.
left
It happens every
East Coast.
year.
Hey, man, the Earth is flat in a motherfucker.
Everyone, why I left.
The Earth is flat in a motherfucker, man. We're not spinning through space. Define what a North Star is, then. We spinning through space and we still see the North Star from every continent.
It is almost 7 o'clock.
We just call it the North Star.
Hat
it's
hour.
just a star, guys.
Let's do it.
We started
it's
with
just a star.
with
It's just
the
a star.
question. Now
We
they're
are
going to
spinning
flock
to the
in.
Earth. The North Star does move every like 20,000 years, by the way. It doesn't, well, it moves, but we're moving in relation to it. It's not exactly north, that's why.
It's just far as fuck and bright as fuck.
Listen, let's get back on topic. Hold on, let me go to my
What do you
little...
guys think about hockey?
Hey,
hold on, buddy. We're going back on topic. Let me go back to my Spaces reminder and see what topic we got to go over.
Yeah, good idea.
Hey, Books, while you do that, I just wanted to, monologue back into what you said, right? Which was asking me to give a chance to founders or project, founders over here.
Perfect. The best topic. That's what it said was next. What was that, intern? What did you want to say about that?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to say, that's what I'm trying to do, that's why I'm over here. That's why I'm in all these spaces that are kind of out of my norm. And that's because I know you guys have the Ethereum crowd, and that's what I'm trying to, basically bridge that, or be the first person to kind of walk through the door on a consumer level, right? Like a person like me, a person like, probably like you as well, and that's the message I think I said yesterday, right? Where, we're going to be able to bring people to people we trust, whether it be on Ethereum or, vice versa. So yeah, I love this topic, dude, and that's what I'm really trying to do with my club.
Here's one thing, ready? Here's one thing that a lot of people are not talking about right now. a bridge takes very long. A bridge from Ethereum to Polygon, that's some code that's already available. I don't know if anyone has gone from Sol to ETH and then ETH to Polygon and how that bridge would work. So you have to also
just a social bridge.
No. Yeah. You have to really think like this whole thing might take a long time. So what I would do if I was in your position is I would be listening to different people. I would be preparing, right? Preparing to go over to ETH, preparing to go over to Polygon, learning how these spaces operate outside of Sol, outside of DGods, outside of Utes, listening to other founders, giving other people a chance to learn and better yourself for the next few months until this bridge actually happens. And once it happens, bro, you're 10 steps ahead. You're early. Like, I've been here. I know how these people operate, blah, 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 blah. I'm gonna maneuver my way, and not so much at figuring out what the alpha is and what to invest in, but more at building your career for the future. Getting that internship that you strive to get, or whatever job you're looking for, or career you're looking for in the space.
Yeah, no. And that's it, dude. Like, with me, I'm not really shit, I'm kind of off topic now, to be honest with you, Book. I just see Frank down there in the listeners, and I'm kind of like just freaking out over that. But
what's up, Frank? You got excited? You start shaking and stuff?
No, like, I mean, that's the goat.
Do you get the goosebumps when you see him in the room?
Oh, no, I just get a huge sign of just like respect, and I really want to try to, knock it out of the park. But I'm just me. But like Books with, if you don't care, I'm dropping the ball right now. Sorry, everybody, but if you could retouch on what you were saying just a second ago with some of the founders and like me, basically on the blockchain, because that's not really what I'm trying to do. I just really see an opportunity, like for being early. That's what it was. In a sense, I'm not really being early. Like, what if I told you I was just trying to stabilize the communities that I love? Like, with there being a narrative, that's so strong as Solana is dead, that's a bad topic. Thankfully, Vitalik did post that tweet, and thankfully you did pin it up. But there's going to be a lot of community members that are going to start waking up. Let's say there's probably 50 to 100,000 people that just aren't active. They haven't been active. And then they're going to see Solana sub $10. And they're going to come into Discord. They're going to come onto Twitter and see what's up. The people within the Discord or the people on the Twitter, right? Like, if they're not informed or if they don't really know of the benefits and like how cool Solana really is, they're just going to say to the first person that asks, what are we doing with our NFTs? They're going to just panic and say, sell or floor it. And we're probably looking at a whole different way, as far as Solana projects could potentially, never bounce back from. So what I'm trying to do is just communicate with everybody, on my level, which is just an intern. Like, I'm not a project, right? Like, I'm not minting anything. There's no incentive for me to be here other than just passion. And that's what my basically like my ticket into the door, hopefully, or at least a common ground, is that, because there's no ulterior motive. This is just trying to stabilize and get the word out of the cool shit that's going on Solana. But while at the same time that we do that, we're still focusing on the projects and the actual tools / utilities / bots, right? Like the cool stuff that makes me want to have fun. I think Ethereum has a fuck ton of that, dude. And so does Solana, and that's where I'm trying to get like founders out into the spaces, so people have a reassurance whenever somebody hops into the Discord or somebody hops into Twitter and says, hey, I just, found out about the dip. Should I sell? I want them to have the confidence and the ability to say, well, like my project founder is pretty fucking active. And, like he said, earlier today that everything's going to be all right, and then that's just all you need as a holder that's been holding. It's like, okay, cool. We're still fucking building. We're still here. We're not going nowhere. That's the narrative that's going to win this fucking race as far as, the whole stabilizing on our side, because I want this to be healthy. I want Solana people to come to Ethereum spaces and be happy or content by being there. You know, I don't want Solana people coming into the Ethereum spaces and saying like, fuck you guys for leaving us, and you know, you didn't leave shit for us, and you guys just talked down on us and we're back. And you know, like, I don't want them to come back with retribution. I want this to be like a fucking rainbow, if anything, where we're just, you know, building. So
man, I mean, you guys could work hard on making that happen. I mean, Ethereum people are the majority, I would say. If they've been here for a long time, the majority of OGs are opportunists at the end of the day. They're people that want to make money. So they're going to be welcoming to people that are coming with money regardless. Again, man, with Solana, with that DeGods and Utes community, I do feel like they haven't really given much a chance outside of Solana, outside of Frank. They haven't been used to other founders and other projects like that. So if you're trying to lead by example, I mean, I would say you're doing a damn good job already, because you've been here in this space for a long time, man. And you've been coming here supporting, speaking, and always level-headed. Just lead by example out there and just let them know like what you've been experiencing, and be a leader, man. Take charge. Am I answering? Is that the answer you were kind of looking for? Am I on point with your question?
Yeah, no, I think we're right on topic. I took a minute to circle back to it. Books, thank you for, you know, just shining the light on me, and actually giving me the time to, you know, speak with you and, you know, your audience and your community. So thank you.
Always appreciate you, homie. What up, Illa?
What up, gang? You know what I'm doing? Cooking. But
I know what you were doing yesterday. You were emotional, my guy. You were happy for the yacht club.
Yeah, I'm happy that you know, we have a democracy, a true democracy, bruh. Like your votes matter around here in Web3. So that was amazing to see. And I keep hearing like intern talk about, and everyone has their different takes on the blockchains and all that. I got a little different take, even though like I'm a Bored Ape maxi. I'm not an ETH maxi. If Bored Apes was on Cardano, or if they were on Solana, I'd be over there because I just love Bored Apes. I love the community. I'm a community maxi more than anything. So ain't nobody like addicted. There's some people who front like they're addicted to ETH and front like they're addicted to Bitcoin and yada, yada, yada. But if you look at a lot of these people's wallets, if they came in after NFTs, they have every single blockchain, layer 1, layer 2. They got all of them inside their wallets or on the Coinbase or Binance or whatever it is. Those are the people who were here before NFTs. And I could speak from that angle because that's who I am. I got Cardano, I got fucking Matic, I got Avalanche, I've got them all because I was paying attention to these things early on, and I wish I got Solana when it was like $5 and it went to $250 or whatever the all-time highs was. There's a lot of people who became multi-millionaires doing that. So once you break it down, it's really about the community. So if Solana has projects like Utes and DeGods, the reason that those projects make noise is because that community is rock solid. And that's why a lot of them make the mistake of saying, oh, we're going to be the next Bored Ape, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, because their community is strong as fuck. So they feel that energy that they could take over the world, which, hey, man, kudos to everyone who feels like that. To me, you shoot yourself in the foot when you say you're the next anything. You should be the first, whoever the hell you are, out the gate. You shouldn't want to be the next anything. You know what I'm saying? Always focus on being the first of whatever you're doing. So that's my take on it. Like I don't ever look down at anybody from any other blockchain, because there's people on Cardano with the Claymates or whatever that project is. They go hard for that project, and I respect it. I respect any project or any founder who could build a community out of thin air. That is so fucking hard to do, and it's nearly impossible to replicate. So I always give any founder and any community that has sold out and they still here, I give them a standing ovation because there's a ton of people who they did fly-by-night communities, anonymous founders who was full of shit, and got people to buy into the whole idea of a community, but using it as a marketing tool, and then they disappear with the money. So all the people who still here in whatever communities they're part of, I give all y'all a standing ovation, man, because at the end of the day, that you could have been part of a scammers organization, but you're not. So you deserve every bit of respect that comes your way. That's just my opinion.
No, I agree with that. There's no way I could disagree. What up, Yield? Oh, sorry, Hash was waiting for a minute.
All good. Go ahead, Hash.
Yo, what's up? Sorry about before. My daughter's got pink eye, which is an infection of the eye, and we were literally holding her down to put drops in the eyes, and I sacrificed that just to respond.
Bro, you don't have to do that, man. I wish her a speedy recovery, bro.
Thanks so much, Brooks. Appreciate that. But yeah, honestly, the community as a marketing gimmick is one of the worst things that ever happened to the space. I came into the space around that time, end of November, early December 2021, and I wasn't so lucky as to be part of the Utes or any communities like that. I was part of a, undoxed founder team who disappeared with the money, and I'm still here, and I think I'm stronger for it. But yeah, community really is the most important thing, but when it's getting used as a marketing strategy, it's just the fucking worst. It's just the worst. And intern, I think what I'm hearing you talk about with the Solana ecosystem and how you want to be there to support it is absolutely amazing, because it's kind of where you grew up, on the streets of Solana. And I think what I'm hearing from a lot of the people here when we're talking is, just do a little bit more time to investigate those other chains. And I know you already are. Again, as Book said, you're here. I see you all over the spaces. I know you're out there trying to be the intern of Web3 and not just the intern of Solana. So really awesome advice. I'm so glad that I got to hear all of it. Thanks for the shout out. And honestly, what Il is saying is again, just really hitting home. It's the community. If the apes went to Cardano or any other blockchain, that community fucking bangs. And what we witnessed as an outsider, what I witnessed yesterday happen in this space, and then to see how the vote came down, and then to see the support that had, and the support that Books and everybody on Web3 and Profits and Scott and everybody that contributed yesterday got, that's to me what community is. And so just to kind of be a part of that history was absolutely fascinating and a real pleasure. And so I'm so glad that I got to share that with you.
Before we go to the next hand, first of all, Hash, that was great. Well said. I was listening to Illa just now. I was walking my dog, but I was listening. And I just wanted to kind of respond to that in the sense of blockchain. This whole, life, right, is all about marketing. There's always a product that needs to be marketed. But when it comes to crypto, and those that have been in crypto for years, I think you can kind of catch on to what I'm about to say. You're bullish on the tech and the success of the tech based off what it's already proven. I remember I was maxed out on certain things without really understanding why. And then now I 100% am I'm a blockchain maxi, but when it comes to holding assets, I'm more prone to hold an asset on Ethereum because of what it's already proven to do, whereas I'm not on Solana. Now, if the apes were to make an executive decision tomorrow and say we're going to Solana, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know how I would feel. I might leave the asset. Granted, I love the ecosystem, so that's why it would be a hard decision. If it would have came out on Sol, personally, I don't think I would have paid attention to it. I don't think a lot of people would have paid attention to it. So that's neither here or there. But I think when Book says to give the Ethereum chain a chance when it comes to founders, I think it's because there is a lot of slept on projects for the simple fact that they're not the hypest, or they don't have the influencer backing, or whatever the case is. But there is a really good ideas on this chain that don't get the respect that it deserves. I feel like Leo's project wouldn't have got the respect it deserves if he didn't do the consistent, specific, and timely, community building as he did, aside from the fact that, he's a part of the Yuga community. But if it would have just been done in a month, sloppy, it wouldn't have been the same success. So I think that's just important to add. I think Yield was next. Go ahead.
Thanks, Prophets. Couple things. Agree with Illa. Like, from my start, I've been hopping around from pretty much chain to chain, tried them all out. All of them had their ups and downs. Got rug pulled a ton on BNB, had some success there. But what I think a lot of people are forgetting about Solana is, like, they weren't really built up to that price because of NFTs at all. There's like a local VC group in the town I'm in. I'm not going to name drop them, but they're massive. And they essentially used VC money to continue to pump it to a ridiculous amount. And I know these guys, a lot of them, and the LPs. And I don't think they're going to pretty much give up on that tech and just not do that again. Like, last time it was at $6, it was at $24 in like a month or two. And then like 3 months later it was at $250. So I'm pretty sure they're going to be buying back a fuck ton of it at one point. It's never going to be what it was, but it'll definitely have a nice, huge bounce at one point because they have too much tied in it.
Well said. I feel that. Go ahead, intern, real quick, and then BVD.
Awesome. Thank you, Prophets. And yeah, no, like, really with this buzzword of, community, right? That you guys are kind of like just, tired of hearing projects say that they offer that. Yeah, no, you're totally right? And that's why this whole thing is pretty cool, is because the projects that are cool, right? Like the ones that aren't hyped up. And I know those projects as well. And that's going to be the really, the part where we might actually start looking at how we define, community. Because we are a bunch of friends, but it is also a selling tool, right? Or a selling word. So yeah, no, like that's the part that makes me want to come over here, find the host that I like, the host that I could trust, right? And then vice versa, because, like BBD, they've been here for, at least a year. That's Be Very Different, Create Aligning Thoughts. That's one of our projects over on Solana that, I'm just genuinely a huge fan of, right? Like, I really don't know if you want me to go into the history of it, but I could, definitely if you wanted to get like a little bit of culture on what we're like as a real, just core driven, team that's all, like 5,000 of us.
Yeah, there's core-driven communities on every chain. Cardano got some crazy communities. Terra Luna has a crazy community still, despite the fact of what happened. I learned that pretty early on in this space because one of the first projects I helped was on Sol and Luna, and it's funny because I'm an ETH I'm an ETH maxi, right? I like all chains, but for real, I'm an ETH maxi. But it was interesting because I got to see firsthand the fact that there is ability to build community literally anywhere. If you have a vision, if you have a story, if there's a game, if there's something that's creating the connection to a group of individuals, they're going to cater to it no matter where it's on, where it is. Look at the Vive community. Comic book heads said, fuck it, I'll download this app and add my shit to it because I can get nostalgia by buying these comic books on this specific platform. The power of community is really beautiful, and I'm glad that we're migrating towards the true meaning of it and not just fucking using it as a buzzword. I was in a meeting earlier today, and I was kind of explaining like my start of certain things and marketing, and it's funny because in sales and marketing, especially MLM stuff, right? And I'm always going to go back to that because that's what I've done. I'm never going to talk about anything I haven't done. I was community building. I'm on Zooms. At the time, it was fucking Skype and Uvu or whatever the fuck. And it was communities I was building in different cities and different places. So that's what we are here now. We're fast forwarding it to that now. And that's why it's so important for the CEO to not be the fucking only spokesman. You should have a CM. You should have a great mod. You should have a good team that's able to dictate your vision to a group of people and be a people person. That's so important. But I actually want to skip all these fucking hands and give priority access to my boy Joker. What's going on? Nice to see you.
Well, hello, Mr. Books and Prophet, Scott, everybody. It's been a minute. Um, the thing I always think about, right, is like, when you look at this super overused word of community now, like, the reality is as human beings, like we all just want to be seen and heard and great. Like, we can have social clubs, we can have community theater, we can all hang out and hold hands and sing Kumbaya. I am personally here, for a couple of reasons. One is I like cartoon monkeys and funny ass people, but the second and most overriding thing is that I'm a capitalist pig. And if we're really like in this, with an effort to, make good bags along the way that we're telling dick jokes and whatnot, I think that the choice has to be, really black and white. Where are the thickest communities in terms of entrepreneurs, people that are genuinely building shit, and where is the majority of the capital going? And this is no shot against other communities and other chains, but it is pretty simple that when you look at Ethereum and the BAYC and some of these other incredibly thick communities. This is a business, and I think that one of the things I appreciate most is that we all have votes and we all get to vote with our money. And if we see the votes continue this way, it's one of the reasons why Ethereum's dominance will only get bigger. And ultimately, I think it's really important for people that are on different chains and different communities to see the business culture that exists here, the conversation that takes place, and please come over to this side, because I really honestly believe that this is the spot where you're going to see an epic amount of money that's created, not just because of the JPEGs, but because of the businesses, the alliances, the Web3 exposed that have come up seemingly out of nowhere to play a profound influence on people's lives. So again, shout out to you guys for the work yesterday in the spaces with the votes. Sorry that I couldn't be here, but I'm too busy out there, just printing cash at this point. So love y'all.
Oh, we appreciate you. We know what you're doing, Batman. We love it. Keep it up. Appreciate you so much.
My motherfucking neighbor. Love you, Joker.
Yeah, when are we having coffee, Scott? Like, me and this dude lives 5 minutes away from each other if we want to hang out.
Bro, we getting coffee.
Scott, you got to get coffee with him ASAP.
Oh, I am ASAP, bro. That's my bad. I missed last time, bro. Yeah, he only lives up the road, man. We're linking up like within a few days, Joker.
Hey, Books, when I called you earlier today, did it say Bruce Wayne on your caller ID? Is that why you?
Yeah, but I don't even answer calls. I don't know too, man. That's why. But I saved you. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yo, so the long and short of that story is really simple. I went into the T-Mobile store 5 years ago, and I said, is there any way that I can get my caller ID changed because I'm on my fiance's plan because she had better credit than me at the time? Long story. And they're like, yeah, of course, but you can actually change it to any name you want. And I said, any name? And at first I was going to go with Batman, but then I thought I'd play it a little classier. So hence the Bruce Wayne. And when you get hit on the bat phone, Books, that's me giving you a holler.
I love that.
It's amazing.
RDC, what's goody?
Oh, I want to hear from Pirate first. Due to the pinned post from Vitalik. I know he's upset with Vitalik right now. I'm not going to lie to you guys.
I was shocked at that. I can't lie.
Everyone here that listens in knows I'm not a fan of Vitalik. Twitter is part of the reason I'm not a fan of his. But I do want to hear from Pirate real fast. Like, Vitalik's a genius. When it comes to, I know, Illa, you gave me the credit. He's a genius. But I hate that Vitalik can tweet stuff and offend people and manipulate numbers and stuff like that. That I don't like.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm not going to talk about Vitalik. I just talk about, Ella said, he's the BAYC maxi. I think, the only thing you can maxi is yourself. Don't do something like that. And if tomorrow you guys say, hey, the BYC should go to Cardano, I will say, fuck off. I will change my POPs. And and don't be some don't follow people like with no brand, no independent thinking. Like I think like because the MT like BYC have no power to like upgrade the smart contract. So actually the MT is belong to us by our private key. So we have full ownership of this MT. So I think like even you guys says we go to Cardano, like people say, hey, we need to like follow the Eastern MTs. We have community here, we have friends here. We're not going to the East. And I think there will be something like a folk, but like community vote, like people can vote. So we have the full control of our assets and don't be maxi about anything. And we need to independent thinking. I think like freedom matters.
Yeah, Code, I want to respond to that. The reason I say I'm a BAYC maxi is because this is where we got the strongest community for one. The minds behind the yacht club and the innovation with community building and all the different things that we've brought to this space, that's what I'm a maxi of, because literally every project is a copy paste of our roadmap. There's no denying it. There's literally no argument in that or debate. So when it comes to if they were to leave to another chain, I'm not leaving because, oh, it's the JPEG, it's because of the community. And it's because of the founders and the way that they look at the space. And it's proven time and time again that they outthink, they're 10 steps ahead of everybody. So that's who I would follow. I follow the biggest creatives. You know what I'm saying? That's where my mind stays at. And that's truly independent thinking, because if I'm gonna be like, oh, I'm not gonna go with BAYC because I'm an ETH maxi, then I'm just following everybody else that's raising their hand, swinging, talking about ETH.
It's more like a success barrier because these other chains haven't proven enough that they're going to work. That's the only problem I have. That's when it changes in crypto. That's the only difference that I have. Like in marketing and life and everything else, it doesn't matter, right? We don't have to worry about the processor going down, right, when we buy X product. But if this asset were to go to a new chain that's not proven like ETH is, that would scare me from a sense of an asset holding. From the community stance, of course, I love the community, but I just wanted to make that clear.
Illa, here's what I've speculated this. I don't know if you heard, bro. I think the other side, separating the quotas from the land, all those resources, all those artifacts, is more compatible on Polygon. It makes sense. I have a feeling that Yuga's in contact with Polygon, has been in contact with Polygon. That announcement might come one day that other side is going to be partially or in full on Polygon, like 1,000,000%. I almost feel like the founder of Polygon told Frank, yo, Frank, you could come here before Yuga does and look like the man. We've been in talks with Yuga. They're definitely coming here. And boom, Frank ran into it. I feel like that a little bit. I ain't going to lie.
No, the way I look at it, Brooks, is that I don't, just from coming from the music industry, I've learned my lesson with turning my nose up or counting out certain shit. It always bites you in the ass. And if we go back 3 or 4 years ago, there would have been Bitcoin maxis in here telling us we're all fucking idiots because ETH is a shit coin. It was 8 years ago, it was 100% a shit coin, right? And now look what happened. So
to be honest, that term wasn't coined until the last 3 or 4 years. ETH was just, oh no.
Nah, it was a shit coin, Prophet.
It was a shit coin.
I never heard shit coin ever. I always heard altcoin. I heard shit coin in the last 3 years.
XRP, ETH, and Litecoin were shit coins to people.
They was called shit coins. It was altcoins as if you were being PC. You know what I'm saying? But everything besides Bitcoin was a shit coin. And now...
But until proven, right? Until proven.
Exactly. But now you got to give things time to prove themselves. That's why I don't count nothing out. You know what I'm saying? I don't count shit out because it'll come back in the ass. It has already in life. So I just always want, especially if I see people can climb over that huge hill of adversity to even make a sprinkle of a wave in the ocean, you got to give them their props. And you got to see how that thing pans out.
Yeah, I remember that Machi said like ApeCoin should be go to the BSC. I say no way, and Machi DM me and say, hey man, you say no way. I say yes, because ApeCoin should be in Ethereum ecosystem. So actually, I think everybody should like think independently. If people say something like you don't agree, you can talk it publicly, and everybody can argue. But we just focus on the things. We just do the right things, and everybody can say like ApeCoin DAO. I think like. You got to do something like Web2 and let's on transparency token distribution make the vote not so fair, and we should click on that. Not going to follow everyone. Not going to say like you got whatever you do, you are right. I don't think it's a good idea. So the community should like help people to grow and help do something better. That's how community works. That's how DAO works. So actually, if like you got to do something like say, hey, we are going to the Solana, we're going to the Cardano, I will say no, definitely. So like, so that's what I mean. As we need to like think independently. But Ethereum is the first smart contract chain, but it proved like before like DeFi Summer. So actually, like Solana maybe they will survive. Solana maybe will be good, but Solana is not the first smart contract chain. But in the crypto, if you are the first innovator, I think that most people follow you, like especially for the chain. Like Bitcoin is the first asset chain, Ether is the first smart contract chain. Like if you make like protocol like Uni, you're the first like DEX, and you're the first like MakerDAO, or like this invocation you can survive. But copycat like Solana, Cardano, I don't think they will survive for a long time. But I think they'll die in the end, like BSC, like those shit. I don't think they will work. So actually, I think we need to like learn each other and community to help each other and think independently, and we can build together. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. You know, that's why we're out here on these spaces trying to connect with, you know, like-minded communities, people that are here to build, people that are here to push that narrative of community, you know, potentially away from what we discussed before about using it maybe more so for marketing, but actually building the community from the ground up. You know, I like what Prophet said earlier, regardless of the chain, you know, there's communities on Cardano, there's communities on Polygon, Ethereum. So we're over at Solana, but we don't want to limit ourselves. You know, we want to bridge between chains and bring each other up. You know, that's why I'm so close with Intern and following him, because, you know, we have two of the largest projects from Solana, one going to Polygon, one going to Ethereum. And we're trying to use that to our advantage to bridge out two different blockchains, right? We want crypto as a whole to succeed, you know, and we're moving towards like a new meta where we're seeing big NFT projects potentially move across blockchains, right? So this might become more mainstream as we move forward. So why not be out here linking with new communities, regardless of the blockchain? But you are right. At the same time, you know, we do have to prove our legitimacy over at some of these smaller blockchains like Cardano or Solana. So we're trying to do both, you know, both at the same time, and just be out here every day. Shout out Intern, and thanks for hosting Books, Profits. Appreciate you guys.
That's the cool thing about, like, don't get me wrong, I hope I don't sound too pessimistic. I'm mad bullish on, like, I was an early investor in Chainlink, early investor in Sol. Like, I got Sol like $15, $20, $30 like in the early. So I'm definitely bullish on the future of the crypto, you know, tech as a whole. But anybody that's been trading, the Books definitely agrees with this. Everything we've ever invested into is all speculation until proven. But great points that you just made.
I believe the person that's not next is gonna be next, because that person owes me a little apology. Mr. Zen Llama.
What up?
Hey, I don't actually believe I was wrong, but I will throw you some flowers, Books. After the full conversation, I will say that we do agree. All right, I will say that. I think it was a misunderstanding in terminology, and we can post the tweet. I'm actually driving right now, so if you could do it, that would be great. If anyone wants to follow that. But yeah, I am driving an awful lot of time, but I just wanted to get up here and make a point because I think it's overlooked a lot. Like Solana was the first blockchain to not copy the EVM. Like that's what we were first for. Like, I mean, maybe Cosmos, you know, but like essentially like we're the first adopted non-copy, like the first mass adopted non-copy. And you could even say we're the first scalable mass adopted blockchain. So yeah, that's what I would say.
What up, RDC?
What's going on?
My guy.
I think Illa should change his name to Illa the Philosopher. I don't
Illa
think
philosophy,
bro. Like everything he was saying was just philosophy. Like, man, there's a wealth of wisdom in that. Like the way I look at blockchains is they're like soil. You know what I mean? There's just some places you can grow some grapes if you like to make wine, and then there's some places where, you know what I mean, you grow corn because you make tortillas, right? And sometimes like blockchains all kind of serve different functions, and some of them do different things much more efficiently than others. And so it's not that I don't like Cardano. It's just that if I want to grow something that blooms in 40 years, like that's where I'm going to put it, right? And it's not like if you don't pick a chain that you don't like, you just like your project, you have to take a look at what your goals are, which is something that a lot of projects don't. It's like their long-term goals are like Illa says, they're copy pasta, but they don't. And then they're like, well, I'm going to do these same goals as the Bored Apes, but you're not going to do that on Luna because it's a different type of environment. And so understanding yourself and then you know, understanding the greater goals of your project is more important. Like that's more important than the chain. And like Illa saying, the Bored Apes could go do it anywhere because they're make way, right? So it's like if I have to go here, then I'm going to curate the soil to the success of my biome, right? I don't know why the fuck I'm using farming shit. I don't farm. Just side note to everyone. But I think that's actually the real play is projects who have it together. Because I got in some big arguments with the OK Bears people that were throwing shade at the you know, Utes and D-Gods for moving over, and I'm like, maybe they made a business decision and decided with Activision, Blizzard, Disney, and all these other ones that are already on here, maybe they said, I'm going to abandon what feels like to us is a sinking ship, because since we are a successful community and a successful project, we can farm our shit anywhere. And so all we need is the dirt. And you know, if we get the dirt, we make shit crack. Like that's the type of community you should want to be behind, because you're just like, it doesn't matter how it is outside, bro. If it starts raining, we put on our galoshes and we get this work. Like that's what crypto is. It doesn't matter. Like, you know, that's why we all mob into fucking blockchains like that. They're like, oh, bro, it's on some new shit. We don't mob in there like, oh, I don't know what it's going to be. You know, motherfuckers fall over each other trying to be the most successful, the fastest. And like, that's the mindset we should have. We should always make a way for all of it to be better, right?
That's a fire point, dude. And I think that the really critical thing, you know, with technologies, especially chains, as we see it just get slimmer and slimmer over the next couple of years, is winners are simply chosen. And the people that are choosing winners are the people that are backing them with significant amounts of capital. And so, like, when I saw the announcement, like, I would imagine if I was a Utes or a D-Gods holder or a Sol Maxi, that I would have been, you know, pissed off and butthurt about it. But from a business perspective, they were looking at something that's, you know, it's dying dirt, using your farming analogy, and that, you know, really just being transparent about it. Like, I don't think it's far-fetched, you know, to say that, like, millions of other amazing pieces of technology that now nobody has ever heard about, you know, it's simply a matter of something with a slow bleed. And when it comes to the Solanas of the world, I think it's a slow bleed to zero. And the scary part about that for places like, for businesses like DGods, for instance, is that doesn't really matter what our floor is in Solana if the overall value of Solana is going to go to zero. So, I mean, the problem, right, is like we can talk about all these really cool things that Solana does, or all these amazing technical innovations that happens, but if nobody is there of any substance, of any financial substance, then it doesn't really matter what it does in the end.
Yeah, you're right. It's like the store in the shopping mall when the shopping mall is closing down. It doesn't matter if you're the best store in there, if you're the last store in there. And like you said, like you weren't trying to throw some shade on somebody. How about initially when Solana NFT projects started popping off, if you didn't have Austin Verts as an advisor on your project, it probably wasn't going to crawl to the top. Also, Solana allowed a lot of people to like that, even though they put a bunch of money in and got Solana tokens back out, and you're supposed to there was a vesting period of 4 years. A lot of those tokens happen to get shifted around and shit. You know what I mean? So the game wasn't being played. I'm sure somebody in here earlier alluded to some VC fun games that people had, and that was totally the play. And so the fact that it got played out, maybe Frank and them just said, y'all might have played everyone else, but these are my people. We all worked hard to make this shit because I made it and they paid it. And so we're gonna take our shit and try it somewhere else. It didn't even matter if he said he was taking it to fucking dog dick chain, bro. Get the red rockets out and let's run it down. I'm happy that he decided to pivot, to make a move and pivot for what he thought is, at least a motherfucker cared to pivot for you. I mean, if you're a good ass community, you will make success wherever you go. All you look at that shit is a change of climate. You know what I mean? Let me get some new clothes and get some new fits and get in the fucking game somewhere else.
Somebody put that quote up in a tweet. Doesn't matter if he went to dog chains with red rocket outs. Bro, that was the shit right there. Love it.
Red rocket chain incoming.
Bro, that was good.
I better get a free red rocket coin if someone makes the dog dick chain. You can have the rest of the IP.
Kuro, you're on that shit, bro. You're the scientist in this motherfucker.
No, I don't know if I want to put my name behind a chain with that name, though. As cool as it sounds. As cool as it sounds.
Little red rocket coin. That's a tough one, bro. That's a tough sell. So we can't get Disney projects on Little Red Rocket Chain? Is that what you're saying? Y'all do damn near everything else.
Bro, you might be able to get the new OnlyFans or something on there, but I don't know, man. I don't know.
Wouldn't it be like Only Farms? Stop. That's too much. It's too far.
RDC, you're a sick fuck, dude. Yo, what up, intern and then Zen Llama?
Hey, Books. I'm actually in Walmart right now. So give me 5 seconds or 5 minutes. I'll be right back, fam. Sorry, brother.
Dude, next time, raise your hand and let me know if you're going to be using the bathroom at Walmart too, because we're super interested in knowing. Zen Llama, what up?
Full service. Yeah.
He's rugging. Is he rugging for everybody else?
Yeah, he has a Solana phone.
Yeah, Zen Llama, we can't hear you. Are you testing the Solana phone?
No, I'm in Tahoe.
Did you say you bought onlyfarms.eth for your new address? Is that what you just said? That's what I heard.
Damn, I got someone in the request that I definitely got to hear from. Nah, bro, it's still breaking up. I would give it 5 minutes, bro.
All right, give me a sec.
Yeah, if you're trying to dial in from Tahoe, you're just simply fucked there because you've got 2 miles worth of bands around the casinos where the phones actually work, and when you're on that Solana phone, that's even worse.
Yeah, there's actually some weed up there called Tahoe OG you might enjoy. But what's up, Q?
What's going on, Books? What's up, Prophets? Scott?
What's going on?
Nothing, man. I hear you were catching bodies last night. What's going on? I fell asleep. People were somber, freaking damn near suicidal. I wake up and Illa is basically ready to go into a monologue about how I have a dream. And it was kind of amazing, man. So I mean, I know I'm late to the party, but I was grafting last night, so I didn't get a chance to listen. What's up, Kira? I'm so happy you guys were so happy last night. And again, man, yo, the ultimate utility, right? Community. To watch the OGs band together the way they did, to exert influence and force an outcome. It's kind of special, man. I think everybody can learn from that. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. I think it's interesting that people want to continuously like make comparisons where they're not necessary. I think like it's quite clear to me that Ethereum is going to be the collector chain. It's going to be the luxury brand. It's going to be the most expensive, the best, the most exclusive, mintiest NFTs are going to be on Ethereum, right? Like it's just how it is. It's the blue chip chain. And because of gas fees, it's probably not going to be able to do what some of the other chains are going to do, right? Like, so I don't see Ethereum being used as a means of payment in a remote village in Africa. That's just not going to happen.
Getting personal.
Some other chains going to probably have to do that.
Where we're told that our opinions don't count because
so I think it's a mistake for people to want Solana to become Ethereum. I think if I was part of the dev core at Solana, I would immediately actually advocate for that pivot. And if you look at like what's happening with chains like XRP, for instance, like they know this. They're not planning on becoming the next like place where you can get your premium NFT. In fact, they want to be in bed with like some NGOs, multinationals. Like that's their game, right? And so for me, I think it's going to be very interesting in the next coming years as we see how the different communities sort of create their little domains, right? Like, so I think, that to me is more interesting than a conversation about, when Solana flipping Ethereum. Why? Why does it need to? Why does it have to be the chain that like mimics another chain, right? Like, let's just accept that per capita, the people that are going to use Ethereum are just going to be more like loaded versus people who like are using like some offbeat chain with really low gas fees. They're probably going to use that for smaller transaction but higher volume, and that's okay.
Q, that's like a fire point, because when you were talking about that, I immediately thought of my two sons, the 19-year-old 6'7", playing D1 sports, and the 16-year-old is growing up in Big Bro's shadow, right? Like he's 6'3", athletic, but will he get to 6'7"? Who the fuck really knows? And so it's that big brother, little brother complex. And what I keep telling my youngest is, don't be your older brother, be yourself. Your life gets to be your own path. And I think that the more we see things like the Solanas of the world, or projects talking about we're going to be the next Bored Ape Yacht Club, or we're going to take out Ethereum, is really doing themselves a disservice. And much like Illa was saying, the really critical thing is like, find your own thing, find what makes you different. Like, you aren't going to disrupt, an Ethereum. So figure out like what your course is, much like Polygon and bringing the Starbucks, the Salesforces, the Disneys, everybody on their chain. It hasn't been about NFTs. And if you just simply try to be somebody else, no matter if we're talking about, teenage boys or blockchains, the bottom line is you're going to fall really short and ultimately wind up just feeling like shit.
Just before, sorry to interrupt, just before you go, I think that's funny you should say that. Just today I was thinking, if I ever listen to a founder and they mention Bored Ape Yacht Club as like an example for what they're trying to do, I'm out. Like, I'm not even trying to listen. Like, because it's just like, it's so stupid. It's like, you're never going to be that, and it's a great example. So I just wanted to just point that out.
Yo, Tout, I want to hear from Tout real quick. I know Tout's got some stuff to talk about.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I want to get this shit started. Like, it's nothing bad. It's nothing crazy, bro. Like, honestly, just opinion of, investment if you were willing to share that. But I don't know if it's worth the conversation.
Make it up. Bring it up. Bring it up,
Whoa.
sir.
Let's hear it, sir.
It's a good one.
I don't know when I'm gonna start sweeping D God's floor, bro. But I don't want to fund the fucking project. That's the thing, bro. I love D God's, but with everything that's happening, like I'm like what the fuck is my entry price? And I'm like, is this shit gonna tank hard? But I don't know. That's why I kind of wanted to DM me. I'm like, bro, let's just DM me, man. I don't know if I was bringing this in a conversation on with Up3 Exposed, but fuck it.
Yo, listen, FUD is spreading fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Like you're a project
Yo, we're
founder.
going lower. The market's going lower, bro. It is what it is.
You're a project founder. Things are not going good for you. You make up a bunch of shit about a project so that their people come to your project and pump your floor, and it's just made up stuff. But when it's concrete and like it's obvious, that's a different story. I don't think that's FUD. I think it's valid criticism and valid claims, man. And I welcome that.
Fuck, man. Yeah. So I mean, like, I don't know why the fuck Vitalik of all times. I'm sure you guys covered this. I haven't been here the entire time. Did you guys talk about that?
They're trying to slow down the tanking
That's what
price.
I fucking said. I swear to God, bro. Like, and I wonder why. Why do these?
It's not good, brother. If Solana's done, right? If Solana's demolished, the price goes to 50 cents from $9. All of crypto is going to take a very, very, very large hit, bro. Vitalik is, man, I'm not a fan of his, bro. I don't like what he tweets. I think he should stay off Twitter and keep things professional when it comes to his chain, right?
Yo,
they need to
being honest real quick, if I'm being honest real quick, I just want you to say this. So I've always had my specific way of reading the market, and over time it changes, it develops as you understand things differently. I'm not attached to my holdings anymore, so that also plays a role. But Books, it's so interesting, right? Because he's not a TA guy. He's a volume guy. He's a volume guy, right? He has the liquidity to get volume and make those specific types of flips. But the point is, he is one person in, I don't know, like years that I've heard say certain things that you would never hear normally. You would never hear the things he says about CZ, how everybody will FUD him. And then Books has a great point of why not to FUD him, or Vitalik, or things that normally people wouldn't think about, right? And I kid you not, ever since taking heed of those specific, like I used to be super bullish on Vitalik, right? And then Books one day said, "Oh, I don't like." I'm like, "Wait, what do you mean?" I think we were on the phone privately. I was like, "Wait, what? You don't like?" I was like, "What?" And then he explained, and I was like, "Damn, good point." And it's just more shit's confirming, and it's just crazy because like my trading has actually become even a little better because of these nuances that I have. So take heed of these. Sometimes it's not even about the TA. It's like, what the fuck are they feeding us? Like, why are they feeding us this?
Yeah, for sure. Like the news and the narrative is definitely something to take into account whenever you're investing in something, depending on who the fuck is saying what, So, yeah, I respect the fuck out of that, So I don't know. I'm just kind of on this boat where I don't want to trap up too much liquidity in something that I'm going to wait too long to get an ROI on. So that's kind of why I was trying to figure out, like, if you're willing to share what you think Solana will end up at over the course of the next 6 months.
Man, I don't know. I really don't know. Do I want the price to go down and everyone to get wrecked? No. Do I want the price to go down before they go over to ETH and Polygon so I could sweep? Absolutely. But then you have this bait volume that I talked about. Like that floor price is.
Yeah, we're going lower. The market has to go lower.
You call a spade a spade. Does it honestly make any sense that Solana went down and the floor prices are going up? If you think in any way, shape, or form that makes sense, I don't know what to tell you. When ETH goes down, what happens to Bored Ape Yacht Club's floor? It goes down. It doesn't crash. It doesn't come tumbling down. It goes down slowly. When ETH goes down, people liquidate. They sell their Bored Apes, their Mutant Apes, their NFTs for liquidity so they can buy the dip. When Solana goes down, everyone sells their Solana NFTs. But for some reason, no one sells their Utes and DeGods, and the floor goes up. And in this case, skyrockets. Something ain't adding up. Did I go and play detective and look at who's doing these buys and what's going on with the floor? No. Do I know that that community is strong as hell and is thinking that ETH people are going to be rushing in? Let's put the floor up. Absolutely. My best thing to tell you is to wait and watch what happens. As Solana goes down, do I think DeGods are going to be worth 1,000 SOL? No, but it could happen. Why? Because they're going to make it that way, because they can. They're that strong of a community. Now, does that mean people are going to be buying at 1,000 SOL? Absolutely the fuck not. There's going to be a few buys, but volume's going to be atrocious. And that system does not work for long. It exposes itself. It's that veneer that I told you guys about. You know, veneers look nice, but on the inside, it's just nothing. It's messed up behind the wall. So I would say, me personally, I'm waiting. I'm definitely waiting. This tweet from Vitalik, I'm not a fan of him. So I'm not going to sit here and say it's going to tank. The price would have been $7 by now if Vitalik didn't.
100%.
100%. So I don't know, Tal. This is a really tough one, dude.
Yeah, bro. I'm also waiting on other shit, like even like Ethereum and Bit. Like nothing is currently stable in my mind. Like I watch SPY and I can't imagine, you know, if that SPY index tanks, that anything from crypto to fucking any kind of commodities assets is going to stay up. Like if S&P goes down to fucking 300, everything is going to get fucking liquidated. So I think I already know my answer. I just like to get different perspectives. I'd rather stay more liquid now, says the guy, who dumb motherfucker holding a mega collar with 78. But it's like,
nah, you're a legend. Hold
bro,
that
I'm holding that motherfucker. You know how you say, like, when people say certain things, you get a feeling and you want to go against what everyone says, bro. That's where the fuck I'm at right now. Like straight up, that's where I'm at right now. And I don't know. I get this feeling every now and then where it's like there's something. Don't do what everyone is telling you, and there's something special kind of that might come out of this. And what it is, I have no idea. You know, but I mean, it's.
I watched this happen, bro. Let me tell you what happened. Mutant Apes, okay? Mutant Apes hit 25 ETH, okay? When they hit 25 ETH, everyone was like, I'm out. I'm selling these things. It's 75 grand for a Mutant Ape. I'm selling. Bro, I went and bought. What happened? They hit 40 ETH floor with ETH at around 3,000. And they were worth some were getting offers for 150, 140. They were all on average, even M1s, I think, were in the $130,000 range. So I don't listen to whatever the majority's saying. I do the opposite.
Yeah, and dude, I'll chime in on this piece, right? Because like you've got like we've got so many different things we can choose from, and I try to look at things and say, what's a good business and what's a questionable business to a bad business. And so you take Mutant Hounds, where you've got a fat mega collar, where this thing is massively well funded and has been so from the very start, and they didn't need a mint to build all this shit. And I have no inside information on this, but everything about DeGods and Utes smacks of that project being struggling financially. It's my bet that the only thing that Frank and the founders over there really give a fuck about is Dust Labs, which is a completely separate entity from that particular piece. So personally, I will never buy a Ute and never buy a DeGods because I don't trust those fucking guys, period, the end. Whereas in the case of Yuga, for instance, I think it's pretty clear that it's a well-run business. I think it's pretty clear that Mutant Cartel is a very well-run business. So even if you have these moments where, like the floor gets, crushed, like Books is talking about, because the business is substantial and is run by brilliant people that you have a fair degree of confidence in, that you can feel good about the bet you've played. But I think that, betting on DeGods and Utes at this point is speculative at best.
Yeah, for sure, bro.
Does anyone know what percent of ETH supply is currently staked?
Yeah, that's where I wanted to go. So let's take a few steps back. If you're worried about Vitalik books, then you have to be worried about apes, because you're going to find yourself in the same situation that DeGods and youth holders are finding themselves in, right? Like, so the floor is up, so 400 Sol, whatever it is, but not worth.
Hold on, Q. Hold on, Q. It was 11% Zen Llama as of mid-October. However, I don't know if those numbers are counting Coinbase unlocking staked Ethereum and other exchanges unlocking staked Ethereum. I would roughly assume 11%. I don't know if that has changed. That, again, that's as of the end of October, October 25th of this year, it was 11%. Why do you ask that question?
Oh, because the sell pressure when they enable unlocks, right? So, like, I just wondering, like, how many of these big institutions that was caught?
I'm going to have to cut you off because, again, if you don't know the facts, it's FUD, right? As far as sell pressure goes, when it unlocks, a lot of this was staked when ETH was $4,500, when ETH was $3,500, $4,000. I don't think there's going to be a lot of sell pressure. Reason being is a lot was unlocked. In August, at the same time that Jerome Powell opened his mouth and everything was going to be a disaster leading up to that Fed meeting, he opened his mouth. The staked ETH was unlocked on Coinbase. What else happened? Mt. Gox announced that they were releasing the 3 billion coins on the market, and the price pumped. The price pumped to $2,000 from over almost $700 ETH at the same time. So I do not believe that there's going to be a crazy amount of sell pressure.
You're free to have an opinion, but it's fact that Celsius went under in part because it couldn't get its ETH liquid. Therefore, all the assets of Celsius in bankruptcy are staked assets. Like, at some point, there will be an unlock with all of these cascading liquidations of ETH, and these bankruptcy filings will need to sell it, just like Sol. Like, that's all the point I'm making. I'm not trying to speculate whether the price will go up and down, but, like, it does matter. Like, these numbers do matter, and that's something to consider.
I don't think it's going to crash the price of ETH.
I don't either, because ETH is that big of an asset, but it's something to think about, right? Like, what percent does it take to move the market of ETH? That's not something I know right now, but it's something you should look at, right? Like, and honestly, like, Chris would be way better at explaining this than I am.
No, so you're making sense. You're making an argument that the demand and supply dynamic is going to change once there's a release of ETH, which was previously locked up in the staking protocols. So that makes sense. So, but the counter argument with that, which you could make, is, so if someone's going to take that money out, you have to kind of consider where they're going to put it, right? Like, so what's another higher yielding asset that they could find a home for that money? So I think you're kind of in the environment, and this is also dependent on where the Bitcoin continues to fall. You're kind of in an environment where there's probably not another better place. So I get where Books is going with this about, like, no one's going to unstake that, because as bad as things are, there's very few places you can go and yield what you're yielding for this asset. But having said that,
I mean, like, treasuries are like 5-6%, right? Isn't that like the biggest threat to all of crypto? Is that, like, yields become negligible to take smart contract risk?
Well, so there's some also counter arguments to that. So Dylan Leclerc, who I don't really enjoy, but I mean, I do give him credit for, like, some of the stuff that he does put out. He just put out a really interesting graph So the collapse of U.S. housing is like it's the fastest rate it's ever happened. So obviously the aggressive hikes in interest rates are putting strain on a lot of American families, and so you're seeing a lot of American families downscale quite a bit. And that graph, he's got it up right now. Maybe I'll just share it with Books and then you can pin it. The graph shows like really like housing prices are falling considerably. So there's a lot of indication that the continued record-breaking pace at which Powell is hiking isn't sustainable because the consumer can't handle it, and also sentiment is far too low. So that could be a plus for crypto. So it's
Q, when does it like it usually affects crypto, right? The housing market, the stock market, all that. But I feel like we're also approaching a point where it's no longer gonna affect crypto and start benefiting crypto. A lot of people are starting to wake up. In the beginning of crypto, it used to benefit crypto. And then once the United States government, as well as other governments and corporate entities started getting their grasp on crypto, it started affecting crypto as well, right? They started gaining control. It started affecting it as well. But I feel like we're starting to veer away.
Well, and I'll throw this in there too, Q, because I dispute the point that you were making about U.S. housing and the effect on the consumer. Like, sure, I mean they're arresting the rise of housing prices and squashing the market, but we aren't going to see the same fallout that we did in 2008 that that caused a mass liquidation. People will simply turn their house into rentals and the rest of this shit. The reality is that everything right now that's considered a risk asset, anything in technology, I don't give a fuck if it's Tesla, or Shopify or Amazon or Ethereum or Bitcoin, has sold off because of the insane rate hikes that we've had. They're just linked at the hip. Now we know that like the rate hikes intentionally are there to smash inflation, which is already happening because newsflash, housing is a huge component, almost 40% of that number here in the States. So that has been squashed in its tracks. Gasoline prices have come down substantially. The prices of, the supply chain is getting fixed to a certain degree. So if I'm correct, and we have one or two more hikes in the early next year before they actually announce a pause, we are going to see every major risk asset, I don't give a fuck what it is, and it's across everything that I mentioned, absolutely skyrocket. Because sure, these things that matter about unlocks with, the liquidations that we see from the Celsius of the world that are going to matter, those are drops in a bucket when it comes to institutional capital that is sitting on the fucking sidelines right now that totals, I think, close to $400 billion. And when those fuckface hedge funds decide to push their chips back in the table because good old nerd farm Jerome Powell has said, we're done doing this, we are going to see things rip just like we've seen them fall.
I don't see how the housing market, like, it hasn't even been that long. Like, we've been going through this for a year to 2 years, and people are still locked in at these low interest rates. And I don't believe there's no way that just over the course of a year and a half, we're going to see the housing market collapse. People comparing the collapse of the housing market in the past to what happened today has literally nothing to do with how they're comparing it. Like, there was a bunch of bullshit going on and fake fucking loans and people signing on bullshit. That's why the housing market collapsed. And when I hear these big fucking medias like, oh, when Ethereum is unlocked for the staking, nobody fucking staked. And the same fucking thing happened when they're like, when China or when Mt. Gox released all their Bitcoin, it's going to crash. They did the same thing with all the exchanges that got the money back, that it's going to crash, that China's going to... Like, I've heard this fucking narrative so many times over the last 5 years, dude, and I'm fucking sick of it. Like, when you listen to the media and these fucking centralized places that control the narrative,
America is now following China. Remember China FUD? It's now becoming Fed FUD.
Yeah, literally.
And Tao, if you look up too, like, where it's a situational housing crisis. You know what I mean? Like, it's nothing like '08. I worked at E-Loan back then. Fucking, this is nothing like that. Yeah, E-Loan guys. I can't wait to get DMs about that. Yeah, so this is totally nothing like that. I don't have a Russian mafia boss saying, drive to Tracy, California and get any refi that you can and, you know, offer TVs and motorcycles. And, you know, Trey used all of us. We had no idea what we were doing. This is totally fucking different. Like, take Joker. Where we live, there's, like, no houses for sale. Like, there's no one selling their shit in Tahoe. There's no one selling their shit in Blackhawk. There's no one selling their shit in Beverly Hills. But unfortunately, the income tree, the lower you go, those are the places, unfortunately, that are going to be in danger again.
Hurting.
And that's why I call it a situational fucking crisis, which fucking sucks.
It's like
in. Oh, go ahead.
My bad, Scott.
No, I was done. Go ahead, brother.
Like I don't want to. I'm not trying to get into this whole COVID and vaccine and not vaccine, but like I you know, like I'm serious, bro. But like when they talked about the amount of people that died, if somebody died in a hospital during COVID, if they were tested for COVID and they died of a heart attack, they marked it as a number towards the amount of people that die. So like the numbers that they're pushing forward, and not like I'm not talking about specifically COVID. Like, don't get me wrong, it was fucking horrible. A lot of people died and the whole economy got demolished because of it. But it's like the media is constantly pushing. I hate this tinfoil hat mentality. It's just that you kind of got to think for yourself every now and then and see if shit doesn't add up. Like, you know, like kind of look beyond what everyone is saying and make a, like, I don't know if that kind of makes sense. Like, kind of, yeah, I'm trying, it's hard to get my point across.
No,
man.
you're right. Like, if you don't know how it works, then it doesn't affect you. You know what I mean? Like, especially during the COVID thing, what did the statistics for flu went down to 0%? We actually eradicated the flu after there being a vaccine out for 40 years. We finally did it. Like, I don't care about this shit one way or the other, but like, I take all the information that comes out and then you go, how could that be real? And then you start knocking it off one at a time. And then you go, you know, Joseph Goebbels he would be the happiest person in the world if he saw our media system right now. Like, he's like, nope, this is really how you snow, motherfuckers. Because it's like, you want to listen to the politicians about trading when they can insider trade. Like, if you follow any kind of quantitative analytics or quiver quant, you can see which ones will buy a bunch of fucking stock and then go make a ruling on what can get funding and then buy a bunch of stock. And like, they'll say dumb shit like, well, I don't really know who trades my stock. Oh, so if I don't know what the speed limit is, does that mean I get off my ticket, or do I still have to get in trouble when I do crime shit? You know, I want to do crime shit and not get in trouble. I like crime shit. You know, like, in general, I don't do it, obviously, because I'm trying to be a good parent. But, you know, if it was okay, like every now and again, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to take this candy bar, but for no money, you know, because I wanted it right now and my wallet's in my truck and I'm tired, you know? But like, that's the thing, man. Like you said, Tao, you have to digest that shit for yourself, or else it's not your fucking lunch and you don't worry about other motherfuckers' food. Either take the shit and digest it or carry on living your life and don't talk about it.
What's up, Danny Phantom?
The person that I wanted.
What up, Danny Phantom?
What's going on, guys? How are you? Yeah, real quickly, just wanted, I mean, first and foremost, shout out the host, Profits Books. Thanks for dedicating your time, putting this space together. Much love for having me up. I did want to, I guess, in the instance of talking about free thinking, I did kind of want to go back to the earlier conversation around, you know, the superior chain. And I feel like that's a conversation that happens as much in Web3 as the MJ and LeBron debate. So I think at the end of the day, you know, everyone's perceptions, biases, ideologies, right? It plays a role in your opinion, and there's really no necessarily right answer. But I think one thing that constantly gets overlooked is, you know, just, you know, very, very critical fundamentals like free market and market fit. And I think, you know, we talked about this when Yuga dropped their you know, Jimmy the Monkey video, and people were like, well, you know, buttholes are a little intense. You know, how are you going to push mass adoption? It's like, well, I think they know their market, right? They know that a lot of their holders are kind of, you know, degens, Rick and Morty, Ren and Stimpy vibes, right? And, predominantly holders didn't seem to mind. And I think that's kind of important to acknowledge. But, when you have a large brand like DGods or Utes that, are well recognized, very reputable, people are going to talk. And I think at the end of the day, it's not personal, it's business. And you have to acknowledge that not everything is for you, right? I mean, if you didn't like the Jimmy the Monkey video, then maybe you head over to Doodles that is more, family friendly and product development focused. If you don't like Moonbirds because you're not really a fan of art, maybe then you head over to Artifact, right? There's a market for everything. And I think people need to understand that, the same fundamentals can be applied to chains. So yeah, I really just kind of want to chime in on that. I know a couple people are saying that they don't necessarily support the decision, but I mean, at the end of the day, I do think that, we don't necessarily know Frank and his team's plans, right? What their vision entails. But the market will decide if this was a good decision or not. I don't have Frank assets just for transparency purposes. I probably will accumulate at the right time, but I do think that it's kind of just important that we discuss these things. And, I'm glad you guys are facilitating these conversations. I think that, what Frank has shown has been impressive from a marketing and branding perspective. So, if he can, accomplish similar things and, really execute against his goals, then, the chain is almost irrelevant. So yeah, again, thanks for having me.
Well, very well said. I agree with most of those statements. Q, what up? Hey, yeah, Q, real quick, to add on to before, bro, it's not that I'm worried about Vitalik. Here's why, if I had $200 million, why I would put 150 million into Bitcoin and only 50 million into Ethereum is because Bitcoin does not have a founder that can go on Twitter right now and tweet something that could offend 65% of his holders, that could financially impact 65% of his holders or 50% of his holders. That's the only thing. I think Ethereum is better than Bitcoin in every way, shape, or form, but I would pick Bitcoin for that sole purpose every single time. Now, when I say I'm not a fan of him, I don't trust him, that doesn't mean, just like Danny just explained about Frank, that doesn't mean that the chain is not good. That doesn't mean Ethereum's not good. That doesn't mean Ethereum's not going to be worth millions. That doesn't mean I don't trust Bored Ape Yacht Club. Nothing like that. It just means I'm not a fan of him. Not that I'm worried about the future of Ethereum or anything like that.
You're worried about human risk. Yeah, and I think I think it was clearly a strategic decision by whoever Satoshi Nakamoto is, whether it's they, him, it's a group of people, a single person. I think that was clearly a strategic decision right up front. So I want to address Danny's point. Danny, I think you're right, and I wanted to pose the question to the panel and some of the speakers. At which point in time, and I mean, I find this very interesting. At which point in time do you think founders and community members are going to start to actually want to decouple their IP rights from, call it, the founders? So I ask this because, I mean, actually Danny's Blue Ape made me think about it, because I think Adidas has a Blue Ape, which it used in a commercial for the World Cup. So that's what made me think about it. And then I wanted to raise it because it also raises questions about like DGods and youth holders, right? Like at some point in time, we need to probably have a conversation about, decoupling these assets. So what if people don't want to move chains? And how does that change the economics of a project, right? So I think, I think it's going to be an interesting case study to see what happens if some people decide to keep their DGods on Sol, and some decide to actually even move theirs to Cardano. Like, what does that what does that look like? What does the economics of that situation look like?
Well, I don't know if anyone's gonna want to move it to Cardano. But,
no, of course, it's a tongue-in-cheek comment, but I'm just trying to say, like, at some point in time, this conversation about actual IP rights and my ability to have the sovereignty that we all talk about, like, that needs to manifest. Like, I need to be able to say, like, actually, this is my IP. I can do whatever I want with this Blue Ape.
Yeah, so do you know that you can, like, you saw how Adidas used their Blue Ape in the World Cup, their advertisement? That's a perfect example of them using their ape. Maybe I'm not understanding your question, but anyone like me right now, I could use the IP for this ape anytime I want.
I guess what I'm asking is,
I may have a concrete example with DGods actually.
Go for it, Zen Llama.
Communities like in Utes, like literally have projects building, like separate projects building on Solana, right? And now they're faced with this like thing of like, oh, what do we do? Like we already have like actual things that we're like building on Solana, right? And now there's all this, like, I know what Frank is doing is going to make like point incentives to move with the team, right? But to Q's point, like if you really do have self-sovereign ownership over these assets in the IP, like is that, that's a question, that's a conversation, right?
I think I just want to chime in here.
100%.
I think what I'm understanding from Q's question also is like, I think that people also attach some of their identities and like sovereignty in this space to the chains that they're on, right? Like all of these communities have very strong influencers and specific people to that chain. And an analogy that I sometimes use is even like, the internet is not like dominated by one singular person. Like Facebook isn't the internet. Facebook and Instagram are servers and like parts of the internet, and like all of these other social media markets are too. And like if you're a marketer, an advertiser, you're going to look at where your audience lies and where it just makes sense for you to advertise and put dollars there, right? I feel like in this space specifically, there's going to be influencers and people that like, for example, if I was a Solana maxi and like I had my Phantom wallet or I had all, whatever wallet, I'm not a huge Solana person. Like I have a couple things, but not my thing. But if that was my thing and my community was Solana spaces and Solana discords, and like I was rocking this huge Solana PFP and that was my community, I was an influencer there, and I do the shift, it's like, if I have all of my other things in Solana, like, am I really going to follow you over there when it's like I got my crew and my club here? And I don't know. I think that all of these chains do have their own individual identity and like their own individual targets. And I think somebody attested to this earlier in the conversation, like XRP is trying to do a different thing. Cosmos trying to do a different thing. Right. Like, and all of these chains, I personally, before investing into any of them, I looked at them as startups. I was like, I am just throwing my money at what I think is going to hit, and I'm hopeful and I'm tagging along, you know what I mean? And like, I was a bigger investor in DeFi and like PancakeSwap, when at the time, when PancakeSwap came out, I had so many people like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, that does not make any sense. But like I made a lot of money and I did really good things at PancakeSwap. But the thing is that like all of these have very small digital identity. PancakeSwap has their own like NFTs and like their whole little community. And like XRP, Avalanche, like it's really insane. So what I think, and Q, correct me if I'm wrong, but what I think you were testing more was like the connection to some of these communities and PFPs to their chains and like to where they lie, and like on the economical standpoint as well, like Ethereum, everyone looks at apes as like top notch, top tier. And then, there's knockoff apes and derivatives on Solana and even on Ethereum that no one is going to take as credible, because they just know where it stands. The same way sneaker culture back in the day was super intense about like, I could see those are knockoffs, those are fake. And like, why does that matter to some people? But it's like a whole psychology of things.
Exactly. So right now, the value of all collections is largely derived by the grouping. So Deadfellas, Apes, Utes, it's the grouping that creates the value accretion right now. At some point in time, we have to see the IP actually manifesting, like in reality. So we say it in words, like, yeah, that belongs to you. But right now, the behavior in the market doesn't mimic that. It's groupings that are moving together. And I see Marchi's on the stage. He's going to give me a doggo soon, I think, or Books is going to have to throw me a tube.
Yo, what up, Danny Phantom? What up, Danny Phantom?
I just want to respond to Q's question because I think it's an interesting one, especially with the example of, like, you know, Frank and his team have really kind of set a precedent about empowering their community to build. And, you know, obviously when you change the chain, right, that there are implications and repercussions to that. So my question actually to you, Q, is one of two things. One, when you say decoupling your IP, right, are you kind of indicating that you would be decoupling it not necessarily from the chain, but more so like the people behind it, right? Because I feel like the human aspect does play a critical role in that. And like, yeah, like, you know, it could be something as simple as like you love a vision of a brand, but you don't agree with the ideology of the founder, right? Or you know, some of their decisions. I totally understand that. I feel like there really hasn't been anything done like that. I mean, if you own the IP, right, you know, if I wanted to go start a project around, you know, my Blue Ape on Solana or another chain, right, I could do that. You know, the market would decide if, you know, there's any value in that. But my question to you is, you know, is there anything, not necessarily apples to apples, but just anything that you've seen, you know, outside of Web3 similar to that, right? It's like, if I don't like Mark Zuckerberg's ideology or, you know, some of the decisions he's making, you know, what would I as a consumer do, you know, if I have, you know, some sort of power in that? So yeah, I'm interested to hear your thoughts.
Great question. So I'll give you a very simple example. Ferrari, you can't, like, Ferrari will tell you, like, if you paint our car pink, we're going to take that shit back. Like, even though you buy it and you supposedly own it, if you paint our car pink or you do some weird stuff, we're taking that stuff back. And we don't care if you're Floyd Mayweather, if you're Justin Bieber, we don't care. So it's not possible in the current framework we exist in, right? Like, so you can't take your Adidas shoes and do whatever you want with them and then walk around and call it a brand. Like, you can't do that. Like, a lot of IP rights prevent you from doing that. But in Web3, you can. You can literally decouple your Blue Ape and say, well, this Blue Ape is completely separate from Bored Ape Yacht Club. Like, it belongs to me, and I'm going to brand it however I want to brand it. You can put it on cigarettes, you can put it on whatever it is, notwithstanding how the founders wanted to orientate their brand, right? So I'm saying right now we're still at the stage where even people who buy into these communities and want those IP rights still group together because they derive value in the community, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm saying I would imagine at some point in time we're probably going to start seeing you know, decoupling. And I'll give you another example that happens in the ape society, which is the pink, I think it's the pink apes. They have like their own little thing that they got going. Now it's still within the umbrella of Bored Ape Yacht Club, but I could see that being something that's completely separate in 10 years' time, where maybe they're even competing on the same grounds. Like, maybe they create a DAO which is intent on, I don't know, bringing down the founders of Bored Ape Yacht Club. Like, that's sort of what I'm going at here. Like, I don't know if that clarifies the question. I think Keisha caught it, and I think I'm trying to tie those two things together.
I do think it's a cleaner transition like that on Web3, because even if you make your own brand and make something successful, the root of your success is actually the initial brand, right? Because it's not necessarily the apes that made you. It's just they gave you the foundational thing, and then you built off that foundation. So even indirectly, if you don't want to be associated with them, your success will stem from the success of others. It's like it's an actual hierarchical, successful structure. So it's like you can be apart from us, but contribute to the success of all of us, and that's a thing you got to respect. It's like every single, like, you don't see a lot of people in the Ape group step on each other's toes either, which is something else you have to respect. Like, I don't know the cohesion behind the scenes or anything like that, but from what I've seen of the business constructs, they're very complementary, right? Like, you have to respect that type, because you don't, society, like our social construct does not inhibit such cohesive nature between people as you get to see in Web3. That's the thing you should probably love and respect the most in Web3, is the fact that people can come together and not care about anything other than, like, I don't care who you are, your monkey picture. You know what I mean? And I'm samurai digital warrior picture. Let's make shit crack. Like, that's, people are more worried about, you know, as Book says, keeping it moving than what it looks like to keep it.
Man, you just reminded me it's time to get this convo moving. So let's keep it moving. We got someone on the stage right now. I don't know which DAO this man is beefing with today. I don't know who he's going to be tweeting on the timeline. Machi Big Brother, do we have beef with any other DAOs that we need to take control of?
Yo, books and profit. You guys are like hitmen or hitwomen. You guys are killers. Oh, like, I just, you know, Books is like, how you been, Machi? I'm like, oh man, I'm like trying to work, you know, change Ape coin. Like, I wanna get in there and you know, put some work in. Books is like, who? I said the name, gone, taken care of. I'm like, holy crap. He didn't even say no more. He didn't even say no more. He just did it. I'm like, holy crap. And then that's it. Miracle. Christmas came a few days late, but all good. I loved it. I loved it.
Who's next, Machi? We got Nouns DAO, Ben DAO.
I don't want to destroy nobody. I'm not going to say nothing. Oh my God, the destruction. I feel bad. I actually feel bad. It was so bad that I feel bad. I mean, a little adjusting, a little bit of, you know, change is good, but when you destroy something utterly, like,
hey, Machi, all that trolling
that's like
he
no
did, though,
mercy.
bro. All that trolling and dunking on people.
I saw you,
dude.
too.
You know all the dunking on people.
You too, Scott. You went real hard.
No, I just don't like how
Bush
he was treating us like we were stupid, bro. Like, that's the only thing. Like, I hate. Like he didn't do no research about Books. Thought he was gonna come up here, outsmart him, you know, finesse everybody up here with I forget who said it, the Stanford wordsmith. And yeah, like you said, Mach, he just got destroyed, bro. Like,
Stanford, he came with Stanford frat boy talk.
Bro, the patronizing is what killed me.
He did use a word I never heard in my life. I never heard of that word.
Which word, Machi? Facetious?
It was like squash over. I don't know what the fuck. It was a long one.
Facetious. Did you say?
I think it's
facetious?
it's the second longest word after supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. And I was like, oh, what was that?
Vitriol.
I didn't catch it, but you heard something, right?
Machi, do we have beef with any other DAOs that needs to be handled?
It's like Death Note, man. Once you've done it once, you say, all right, I'm not gonna do it again. Like, dude, I didn't know it was like that. I didn't know it was like that, Books. I didn't know.
So what happened, Machi? What, you just activated all your cold wallets? You were like, yeah, I'm gonna change my votes and I'm gonna just, you know, take this guy out.
No. It wasn't.
That was a whole New York East Coast network, dude. I don't know, man. That was not me. That was not.
No,
me.
that wasn't Machi.
Yeah. Books knows because him and his crew, him and that underground crew, they don't F around. Oh.
Machi, you need us to go into nouns? You need us in nouns or not?
No.
Let us know what you need, pal.
No, let's not do any more. I think we've used that. That's it. Let's take a break. Actually, you know what? We have. That's the thing. I said, welcome those guys to hell. Those 3 new Ape Council members, right? Like, they're gonna get in there and they're gonna FAFO. They're gonna FAFO.
Bro, I feel like as far as well-rounded goes, those 3 are like perfect for the job.
They're perfect. And we're praising them, and they never come back on Web3 Exposed. They're afraid. They never come again. Those 3 guys gonna hide, and 2 guys and 1 girl. They're not gonna hide. They're not gonna come again. They're just gonna avoid us. I already know their AIP coming through right now. I was like, I'm gonna vote no on that. They're like, oh, it's okay, we can disagree. I'm like, oh, yeah. Anyways, we'll see when the first AIP comes out from the new council, and then let's bring them back on Web3 Exposed. Yeah, I think they should come more often, like once a week at the least, and then we can discuss the new AIPs, what's on discourse, whatever. Like, it's gonna be totally different. I feel real good. I feel real good. Things are looking up and up. You gotta let everybody at Yuga know. ApeCoin's different now. Like, we can work together. We can do stuff together now. Illa.
Hey, me and Peepee, man, we were tuned in last night. It was an exciting moment for the community, man. And I really hope that that Farouk said it this morning. We hope that this isn't the flavor of the month. I hope that all of the apes, the mutants, everybody that has a vote, that has a say, gets involved with the process, and we push through some really innovative, creative, dope shit, because this community has some of the brightest minds in this entire space. And I feel like the ApeCoin DAO should be used as a tool to elevate all these people. So if it gets done right, then, man, we're going to have a crazy 2023 and beyond.
Yeah. It's going to be a good year. It's going to be a good year. It's going to be great. I can't believe
we need it, man, because the halving until 2024, so we gotta stay vibing for a whole nother year. Like, we got to get it moving.
I think the council, if they set things up right, we will. It's like, it'll be like the Yuga model, where it's like the community is bringing a lot of value. The way it was set up before, it wasn't like that. It was gatekeeped. Nothing could get through. Not like only their own projects. So it was kind of like just like this little corporation do its own little thing. Yeah, that's why ApeCoin was failing. But looking good now. Looking good now. Like, literally, the community took it back. Oh my God. And again, Web3. Like, I knew the second I came up on stage, I said, oh yeah, Fro, thanks for throwing that space of profits. You don't even know. And I thought, oh shit, I don't even know.
And my bad, I didn't mean to be like that. I was just like, nah, you got to hear the story. You got to hear it.
Yo, Machi, that clip
I listened to
of you?
all 7 hours. I didn't fall asleep part way.
Fucking real one.
Kept listening to it. But, you gotta give me credit. I knew right away after I said that, and you said that, I was like, oh, I already know. I know what happened. Someone in the lead came up here, fucked around, found out. I already knew.
Machi, the clip of you when you came up in the space and said, yo, you have to be stupid to come up on this stage the day of election day.
Yo,
bro, that might be the
up.
best. It's the best clip I ever heard, bro.
What was he up here? Was he up here? Did he say that to Degentraland?
Yeah, he was up here. He didn't say it to him, but he just said it like when he heard the story. Like, it was so funny, like his reaction. That was Machi's initial reaction.
No, the thing is, it's like this. That goes to show that he didn't know the community. He didn't know what Web3 Exposed. He didn't know you guys. So he wasn't lying. He really didn't know about you guys. He came up here. He's like, "Hi, oh fuck yeah, what's up?" And then, oh boom. Oh man, it's I don't know. The world's a big place. There's a lot of monsters in it. You gotta be careful. Humble. Always be humble. I'm talking to myself.
No, straight up, Machi. That's why I say don't dunk on people that don't deserve it. You never know if that little dude with 400 followers you dunked on is going to be the next fucking whale or the next fucking leader of some protocol that fucking changes the world. So, man, yeah, like Web3, Web2, yeah, I fucking would dunk on people and do dumb shit. Web3, I'm trying to, I try to fucking, treat everyone like windows and doors. Like, you can come into mine, I can come into yours. And we can network, man. And he was just, it was like arrogance, right, Machi? He just really thought like, I don't give a fuck. I got this in the bag. I'm going to go up on this space with a bunch of idiots that they do get a lot of fucking audience. And I'm going to finesse, I'm going to finesse talk. And he was literally up here celebrating lightweight, like, like, I would love to work with everyone, like.
Yo, Jerry conceded early in the day, and Degentraland came up here like, I won this, I got it in the bag. You guys are screwed. Whether you like it or not, I'm here. And then, boom, reality hit him real quick. He got Web3 exposed.
I think that I really think that Journey Crypto might have been in here
Me
on
too.
the burner, because what people don't know about Journey is he's a day one ape, really like die hard about this community. So the fact that if he was in here and
Him and Elio was listening, and they're cool. So maybe Elio called him.
yeah, because Journey was the one before anybody else on crypto or YouTube, Twitter, any of them influencers. He was screaming from the mountaintop, get into apes. That's why it was him and Dingaling was number one and number two for the longest time, because he got 100 and something apes. So he's invested. There's not a move in Basie or Yuga that this dude isn't paying attention to. So if he was swinging votes and he saw something or heard something he didn't like, and then he realized who Jerry was to the community, because you can't get more like in the soil than Jerry, bro. Unless you Herb. That was the only other person that, if Herb was up there in that top three, I ain't gonna lie, that would have been a fucking movie. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, who knows what's gonna happen 6 months down the road. But besides that, Jerry is the soil, my nigga. Like, making everyone them banners. If you were day one ape, the first day you came in, he was greeting you in that motherfucker. And then when it came to the staking and all that, the same energy certain people first got introduced to him when he would stop what he was doing for some new person who came in and start over. That's who that man is. You know what I'm saying? So that was the biggest mistake to me that the Gentleman made, is coming in and then talking to Jerry and not being able to answer those questions like straight up, you know what I'm saying? And that could have easily, if you would have just whatever, I don't know how to put it, but you can't flub Jerry, bro. You can't even like debate him on certain type of shit like that. When it comes to like, oh, who's more for the community, you can't debate the nigga. You know
Bro,
what I'm saying?
were you there when I told the stage, I said, I want everyone to DM Degentraland. This was in the beginning. I want everyone to DM Degentraland right now and ask him to help you staking through the contract. I guarantee he's either going to not answer or give you an excuse. And someone did on the stage, and he responded and told him he's busy. Bro, it was, yo.
Yeah, you see, that's what it is. That's what it is. And that's what matters to this community. Like, don't get it twisted. Degentraland is very, very smart. He's a brilliant dude. But this was
brilliant's a big word. Please, no huge flowers, okay? I wouldn't call it brilliant.
No, when it comes to
smart's fine. Brilliant's way up there, man.
When it comes to certain things, like, everyone has their own streak of brilliance. Well, not to everything, but when it comes to certain things. So there's certain things I'm sure he could have brought to the DAO, but when it comes to community, you can't beat Jerry, bro. You cannot. You know what I'm saying? So that's as simple as that. If it would have been anybody else, Vera, or if it would have been G, or what's the other dude's name? If it would have been
Bored Ape G.
Bored Ape G. If it would have been Bored Ape G or Vera going against the Degentraland, he might have still won. But it was Jerry, like, laying it down. That's a losing battle, bro. All the apes all going to rally behind Jerry because he's the soil, bro. And I really believe he's gonna die on that hill for apes, in that position. So, congrats to him, man.
Hey, Illa, not only just apes, man. He's just diehard Web3. That's why I was ready to die on the sword for books, and Jerry, because like I just know how many people and Vera also, like Vera, like Books, you were saying earlier, like Vera runs other communities and shit. So it's like those are kind of like beacons, like, we always say guardians and beacons. Those are like the types of people, like, I'm like, cool, man. Every facet of Web3 is in good fucking hands, and it makes me, feel like I doubled down on the right career move too. When everyone that is in high positions really want to be there, and they're just not trying to get another bag, which is nothing wrong with trying to get the bag. I'm not trying to say that either, but and it was good to, like, all Jerry asked him was one question, and it really took 2 hours and me screaming to finally get him to answer. Like we just asked, where were you, bro? And it's like any grinder knows, any finesser is going to tell you what they're about to do. You know what I mean? And all Jerry wanted to know is, what have you done? And he kept, you know what was annoying me too? When he kept saying the 2-week thing. Who cares, bro? And then he was like, then you guys are going to be mad at me because I didn't work during Christmas? Who up here?
Oh, that was.
Hey,
my thing was, this is the most important time.
Who didn't work during Christmas break, bro?
This
we
is
all
the most
worked.
important time to work.
Yeah,
this
we
is
all
the most
worked
important
in,
time.
bro. It didn't even matter about ApeCoin. Like, that offended every listener and speaker. Even not feel. I'm like, this guy is not only talking about people like Laura and all these OG apes. He's like talking about everybody. I'm like, is this guy mad? I'm like, dude, like, and that was the beautiful thing was 75% was self-inflicted. He just kept talking. Listen, we listening. Go ahead, bro. Like, you keep walking that plank, bro. And listen. We're listening, bro. You know what I mean? And Kiro didn't even get off the rest of his question.
He practically called me Linda.
Bro, he
Linda.
said we were everyone in
Bro.
here was a minute part of what I almost threw my brand new phone, bro. I was just like, is
A
this
minute but very loud.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
his
that's what
exact
he
words,
said. Minute
bro.
but loud. Like, we know what that really means. You know what I mean? Like,
Bro, I was so frustrated because like I wanted him to talk, and I DM'd Profits. I'm like, bro, give him enough rope, and he's gonna hang himself. Like I know the tensions are high and like emotions are high, but just give him a second, bro. And I don't know, man. I got out the way. I'm like, fuck, I'm not getting on stage. These motherfuckers are
Count, I
out
even
for blood,
reframed
bro.
I don't know if you were there yet, but I reframed the question for him. I said, hey, with 1 hour of help, and he couldn't do it.
Okay, but I have to yell at you guys.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Scott.
No, that's like what a pimp in like San Francisco or Memphis be saying. Listen. I'm like, bro, what is this game talker finesser? But he said it in the Stanford Fat Boy way. You know what I mean? And I just like couldn't believe like the minute
I've got
thing.
facetious plans.
I've got
facetious plans to take over the bodacious
advisor,
ApeCoin DAO.
Yeah, you went from Metaverse advisor to dropping a Goldman Sachs like we're all gonna go ooh. Like I couldn't. It was like he was trying to find out. Like Illa said, dude is smart. Like he's very well spoken, not taking that shit away. But bro, you told us literally, it's recorded, that you still work there. And then we asked you again an hour later. You said, no, I'm part of Horizon Ventures. Like, there's
Semantics.
600 people listening to this,
greatest deflector.
Yeah.
World's greatest deflector, bro. Bro, this guy should have played the World Cup. That's what he should have done, bro. He would have been deflecting all those balls, bro.
Yo, yeah, it's like, oh man, yeah, Goldman Sachs, fucking like, yeah, you were the CEO, motherfucker. You were the intern. Yo, the thing is like, yeah, he just didn't know, like, you know, in his own bubble, like, oh yeah, I'm part of Horizon, so we're super big. We like Horizon. Dean made the same comment, Bored Ape Gazette. He's like, oh, all the people voting against Cartan don't know how to run a DAO. And I was like, the fuck? I never seen Dean. I never seen Cartan. None of these guys in any other DAOs. They're only part of one. ApeCoin DAO. Like I haven't seen them in nouns. I haven't seen them anywhere. None of the DeFi protocols. I haven't seen them anywhere. So I'm like, dude, these guys don't know anything about DAOs. What the fuck are they talking about? But that's the way they talk. And then, like, you know, like, again, came to Web3 Exposed. Didn't know Scott. Didn't know Prophet. Didn't know Books. Didn't know that the head of Yuga Labs community vibes, you know, the head dude Illa over at Yuga, that is a forward-facing guy to the social media, like to the lions, right? When Yuga has the lions running around on social media trying to chew on them or whatever, they send out the champ, and Illa comes out and smashes everybody. Yeah, where's Illa from? Where did I see Illa first? Web3 Exposed. That's where I saw Illa. He's from here. This is hood. This is where his gang is. And the fact that DJ said I didn't know that, well, now you know. It's like, oh man, and Illy even came. Illy was even in the room too, like, and he was talking to he probably didn't look down. He probably didn't see Illy hanging down there listening to. Oh man, it's too funny. Like I said yesterday, I'm so happy. I don't want Minaj. I don't want to win millions of dollars at the baccarat table. I was more happy yesterday. Oh man, some things money can't buy. Some things money can't buy.
Yo, Machi, the 2 seats that are up in 6 months, are they good or bad? Like, what's the deal with that? Does anyone have the details?
And if you don't know, now you know, nigga.
Anyone have the details on that? Machi, you know anything about that?
Yeah, I'm not sure the exact part. I'm guessing. I don't think we have a term limit. I don't think we do.
No. So I heard there's 2 seats that are up in 6 months. Are those 2 seats 2 people that are good, 2 people that are no good? Are they active in the community? Yeah, are they adding or not adding?
You know what? I heard like different things, like from 5 seats maybe to 7. I'm not sure if we need that right now. We are just trying to get back on our feet and start over. But when we do have those 2 other seats, there are capable people that I think didn't even try to run this time, just because they're kind of jaded and like, fuck that. If I ran, I'm not getting in, or if I ran, I can't make a difference, kind of thing. Of course, the community, everybody, we proved them wrong. So even those people, they might come back around that. And the other thing is, like I said, they're talking about working groups, whatever you want to label that. I believe we should get full-time people to join the DAO, and good people. And I propose something different. I said, hey, one at a time. Let us vote on them one at a time. The only reason we didn't do that before is because our proposals would take like 4, 5, 6 months to get one through. It was just so broken. But now, if every 2 weeks we can get a proposal through because we automate the process.
Yo, one at a time, Machi, one at a time is very, very dangerous. The only reason is just for encouragement and discouragement, because there are so many clicks in this space. Like, let's just say one at a time, Bored Ape G1, and Jerry and Berra got upset and the community got upset that it was just him and not them. It could be a backfire, because the fact that we got all 3 brought encouragement back to the DAO. Like, all these different cliques and groups in the Bored Ape Yacht Club are now pumped about ApeCoin DAO. So
I wasn't talking about the council members. I'm talking about the work group. Meaning,
got you.
Like they said, we need okay. So they've complained before. 5 people are not enough. It may be 5 people. They don't have enough time to do everything, right? I mean, if it was D'Angelo up there, he'd definitely be like, I need to delegate this shit off. Like, I only throw commands. I don't get my hands dirty. But I think Bored Ape G, Jerry and them will get their hands dirty until they can find help, which that's what I meant is like, okay, they said we don't have enough. We each need, backup. I don't know what role it would be. Let's call it an admin, or let's just make it general, an admin. So we need the admin, and it's the admin for something, and it could be just one person, and the committee would know them, right? It's like, okay, so for instance, Bad Teeth didn't make it this time, but we need this guy or a position of fill, and Bad Teeth wanted the position, run for it, and it would be a 2-week process. The committee would vet him. Like, I've never seen that guy. I've seen that guy. And people talk, are for him, against him. But if he passes, he'll get whatever we write there. It's kind of like these bills where you see this $1 trillion bill and there's a bunch of weird shit stuck in there that you don't know. Like, they sneak shit into that bill. But if the bill is very clear, where it's like, okay, we're going to hire Bad Teeth to be an admin for the 1-year term while the council members are, he's here to help the council members and the DAO do this specifically at $7,000 US a month, $8,000 US a month, and we yay or nay, right? We vote him in or we don't vote him in. And then, of course, maybe in that proposal there'll be a caveat where it's like 3 out of 5 ApeCoin DAO members decide to fire this person, then he's out. Other than that, he gets to stay. So then we can start getting more shit done. And like, each person that comes in is very accountable, because we know who he is, who she is, and how they got in, right? Or because we voted them in, and we can't really vote them out, but if we complain enough, the council members will look into it and say, hey, yeah, they're not doing work, or we haven't seen them since they won the proposal and they just taken, free money, or them, let the council members do some work. And then 3 out of 5 fire him or her, and they're out. Like I think try to simplify things for now. I mean, if we get really big, then maybe we need to figure another system out. But I would like to keep it nice and simple, so I know. And it is a bear market, right? So we know every dollar going out of the DAO is value add.
Yeah, the great thing about it is it's the pressure now. Like you put together this team, it's how is all the players gonna gel together, and motherfuckers got to win a chip. We got to win the chip next year, or else I don't know how we voted people in, but you know if you can't get voted out, there's impeachments, there's all types of different things because, man, that's one thing I know about apes and about Web3 Exposed. That energy will do 180 on your ass if people put you in that position and you don't deliver the chip. It's gonna be a 180. So I like that pressure. That means that people are gonna deliver, and I believe Vera, definitely Jerry, G, all have the heart in the right place and want to win the chip for apes and the community at large. So let's see, man. I'm hopeful. I'm bullish, and I know Monty on their ass. So please, let's win this chip, man.
Yo, Machi, are they allowed to take days off, go on vacation, any of that? No chance, right?
Hell no. Like, and that's the thing, right? We're calling for it the whole time. Like they're saying 3-month transition period. I was like, there's no 3 months. You still got like 2 weeks of the end of the year. I know there's Christmas. I know there's New Year's Eve coming up. You guys want to party, but get shit done. And I saw a couple guys, not a couple, like there's more than them, but the ones that I was talking to, Bored Ape G and Jerry, they were working on it. They were writing proposals. They were talking to Cartan, trying to see what situation was like. They tried to play diplomat a little bit. And I was like, no, it's not diplomat. And it's not like we're having high demands. What we want is normal. Like, this is just very normal that you hand the keys back over, transition it over in like a week or a day, not 3 months. That's not called transition. That's called an extension. And the community spoke loud and clear, no fucking extension. We voted that shit down hard, even with the ApeCoin Council members lobbying for that 1-year contract. Maria lobbied for it. Yat lobbied for it. Dean lobbied for it. All three of them are saying, oh my God, we won't do well without Cartan. It'll be chaos. All this stuff, I heard all of it. And I was like, nope, that's not what's going to happen. The community, with or without them, is going to just blow the fuck up. We could do it. And we are doing it. And I've seen, peek behind the scenes already, a little preview of what Bored Ape G and Jerry can do. And it only made me 100% more convicted that, like, my conviction just off the roof. Like, what do you mean we can't? Or it'd be chaotic. Jerry's been in the army or whatever, but I don't know if he's a sergeant or whatever, but he's pretty organized, and he's got his, like, what do you call that? Principles, and he's a hard worker. And then Bored Ape G, he knows what's up.
What did Cartan Group actually do, though? I still haven't had anyone explain that to me. I still don't get what they did.
So basically, help set up the foundation. There are representatives. The DAO is not set up as in like those like super organic / Web3 native DAOs, right? It's one that's set up the Cayman Islands with a foundation. Like our treasuries over at Coinbase Prime. So it's one of those transitional ones. I don't know. Like you don't want to put us in hot water or anything. Basically, we're not that decentralized. Like it's changed totally. Like with 3 community members and the way we're moving, we are moving farther and farther. I mean, everybody wants it too. I'm sure the old council members want it. Cartan everybody wants. I don't know if Cartan wants it. They lose a job by having it become more decentralized. But we were about to become more centralized, like literally. But we won. We literally won. It's super huge. ApeCoin DAO will be worth 10, 20 times, 100x more than if we had gone the other way. The other way is just more centralization. Then it becomes like, oh, you're just another company. Like, oh, and you're one with, you keep thinking it's a big treasury, but once you become more and more centralized and less of the community members participate, it ain't gonna be worth 1.8. Your treasury is not gonna be worth 1.8 million. It'll drop like a rock down to like zero. So it wouldn't be worth shit. But instead, we have a chance to prove, okay, this community can grow, and then we could be the number one DAO. Like I said the day after yesterday, oh shit, we flipped Nouns DAO. Like they can say, and you know how condescending or entitled or arrogant they were. Like, oh yeah, we can't do things like Nouns DAO or that type of way because they're smaller than us. Small, medium DAOs can do that, not our huge DAO. Like, dude, you're huge is not huge. Your size is not size. You just keep imagining that. Nouns DAO is like 60 million US in Ethereum. That shit's liquid. Yours is ApeCoin, okay? ApeCoin right now is liquid as fuck, but don't get twisted. Like, Nouns DAO is a big DAO. Like, and they're doing things that are light years ahead of us. Not to say that we can't catch up. Again, we can jump to light speed and we can catch up and pass them, in my opinion, because they. I'm not saying they don't have a community. They have a community plus a lot of fans, but not everybody can jump. Oh yeah, they have little nouns. They have some other like derivatives or ways to funnel into nouns, but we got a huge community, right? We got the apes, the mutants, the other side, and all of this community plus our friends. Like, I have friends that are not in yet, would like to get in, just not in yet. They don't have the money to buy ape or mutant or whatnot. And of course they get in through ApeCoin, but I've never been recommending any of my friends, hey, grab ApeCoin. You know, this thing's going to moon. I never say shit like that. I don't show my own friends like that. But I do.
Man, there's a whole DeFi community that is not on Twitter that is ApeCoin that I am a part of, straight up, on Telegram. Just to throw that in.
And there must be. We could go on Etherscan, Blockchain No Lie, check how many addresses have ApeCoin. It's in the 60, 70,000. So I don't know who those people are either, but those people could amplify the signal and the noise once we're headed in the right direction, right? When it's going down, they're not going to go out there and tell their friends, like, hey, ApeCoin's doing well, get in. What they're going to be telling their friends is like, oh, it's only going down, cry and complain about it and you know, amplify it out there, right? So, yeah, we are going to improve in 2023. Like, we have some go-getters in there, and they're community members, and they'll listen, they'll join the spaces, and dude, we you know, it's looking good. I mean, I celebrated. I just picked up a shit ton of ApeCoin. Like, I went there, second, like, it was like confirmed they won. I just ran out and bought some more ApeCoin, staked that shit. I'm ready to vote. I'm ready to vote. Probably vote no on everything, but still, I'm ready to vote. You know.
I think a lot of people are going to be voting. The participation is up now that the community won it. So I'm excited about that people are actually going to participate. A lot of people have been discouraged because of the first few proposals. If you guys look back, I said this on the space yesterday, if you look back to that first ApeCoin space when everyone was friends with Machi and loved Machi, and Machi was up there drilling them, there was a lot of participation around that time. The first few proposals that came out, tons of participation, and then people started to get discouraged. Up until this election, it was discouragement and lack of participation. This election caused a lot of participation, which was beautiful. The outcome, I think, was going to be discouraging, and we changed that shit, man. The community won it back, so I think it's going to be good going forward. I really do. We got the right fucking people now.
Hey, Books, can I jump in here? Oh.
Yeah, go ahead, Poppy.
Hey, what's up, guys? I just wanted to share my perspective as to what transpired yesterday briefly. I think we all witnessed the most influential community in Web3 grow right in front of our eyes, or rather ears. DAOs have to be one of the most maligned structures in this space, and elections simply couldn't be more polarizing. But yesterday we witnessed these two radioactive concepts find harmony thanks to the maturity level that the Yuga community has reached. And that fills me with a lot of hope. Hope about what younger communities can achieve once they come of age. And the admirable thing here is the Yuga community didn't reach this level of maturity by simply letting time pass by and gaining seniority. They did so being proactive, innovative, and courageous, following the footsteps of the team at Yuga. And one last thing I'd like to share briefly, if I may, is how proud I felt yesterday. I've been fortunate enough to extract pride from Web3 products and byproducts, but it has usually involved, indirectly or not, price going up, right? But yesterday, I feel proud, and especially as a part of the Scrub Mod crew, shout out to all the Scrub Mods, Ruben, Metahazi, Smokeweed by NFT, Boomfa, if you know, you know. But yesterday, I feel proud witnessing not only the election tipping in a direction the community wanted to on a blockchain. I feel proud coming to the realization that Books, Profits, Richie, Scott, and the regular contributors of Web3 Exposed have reached a level of maturity of their own as hosts, communicators, leaders within this Web3 space. I think you all unlocked real Web3 utility yesterday, and it involved 0 transactions, no sell shaming, no FOMO, no FUD. I'm confident you guys had a similar realization yesterday, but just in case you hadn't had the time to do so, I wanted to make mention of it.
Jerry. Yo, huge shout out, Flora Poppy. Appreciate you. Very, very well said, man. Super grateful for you, for everyone you mentioned as well, bro. Absolutely. We've got Jerry in here, ladies and gentlemen. Machi, I don't know what he's doing on Spaces, Machi, but he's here. I can't control nothing.
GM. I just jumped in. I all I heard was Machi talking. I thought I'd come in and say hi.
What up, Jerry? How you feeling, man?
Like $1 million, man. You saw those numbers. I can imagine. I mean, I'm tired. I've been working all day, to be honest. It's been a busy day, man. We've been working hard. So it's we were able to reach everybody and get everything submitted and do some negotiating and try and work through this and push forward, onward. The numbers came out. Not sure if everybody noticed. I had made a previous commitment that if 300 unique voters voted, I would be getting that tattoo of the butthole. It happened. We had 316. So the plans are being drawn up for the outside of the elbow.
It's going to take 3 to 6 months, Jerry?
No, man, it's going to probably be next month. It'll probably be January that I get this thing done, man. You know how I roll, dude. I like to move fast and loose. I just need to find a good artist here, and that'll be done. Got to work on some other ideas for the rest of the story, though, because I think I'm just going to turn my left arm into like a dedication to Yuga and this entire. It's going to be my Web3 arm. That's what it's going to be. So that decision has been made. But yeah, man, I'm really happy with the numbers, and I tell you what, it kind of. I was just actually talking to Cap a minute ago, and I was like, dude, this would have been wild if these had come out and it had flipped the other way, because there's like a massive discrepancy between the amount of voters that came out. I know we got a ton yesterday on that Spaces, but the amount of voters versus if somebody had won first place with the fewest amount of voters, I think we would have had a problem. Which we already do, by the way. We've got to fix this immediately. Like, it shouldn't have been that. It shouldn't have quite been like that. So we've got some work to do. We got to fix it like now.
I totally agree. I need everybody to comment with the key at the top. Can't do it without the key. So you guys got to let them know.
Nobody has said it's of course it's getting done with the key. I don't think anybody has said without the key. So I thought it'd be like 50-50. Maybe I'd do a poll, but nobody has suggested to get that tattoo without the key. So key it is. We're going key. Assholes and elbows, baby. Lots of work to be done. I was amazed to hear that more people haven't heard of that, by the way. So in the military, we say assholes and elbows. It's just a description of working hard. And so
And
it just means
according to
hard
the
work.
Yin Yang twins, asshole to elbows also meant a certain kind of dance. If any of us 80s babies remember.
Guys, we're lucky to have someone like Jerry who's extremely freaking humble. He posted the numbers at the top, but only posted his because he's not an asshole. However, Books is an asshole. But regardless, the numbers are great. So Jerry got 315 votes. Vera got 267. Bored Ape G got 163. Guys, Decentraland only got 103. So just to throw it out there and show you guys what those three had was a lot more than Decentraland. And for him to sit there in first place, like, come on, I wasn't born yesterday. Let's be real. I mean, Jerry got 3 times the amount, and then both Bored Ape G and Vera almost got double what Decentraland had, which is freaking awesome, man. God bless you, dude. Congratulations, bro. We're so happy for you. We're happy for the whole community. This was epic. It was epic, man. It was amazing. I still I get the chills when I think about how you were like conceding, bro. You were conceding, and that asshole was on the stage pretending he won already. Like he had it in the bag and it was over, and you had lost. And no, Jerry, if you need anything,